Let me clear my throat for this, cause oh, it's gonna be a long 48 hours. I feel like, well, we're already past 24 hours, but now we've gone into the next day. Well, then again, it's gonna be a lot going on tonight, but we are here today, the granddaddy of them all, the big show, the one everybody's been waiting for, the Super Bowl of wrestling, as some would say. But welcome, and I mean welcome to the WrestleMania 42 review. Back again in Las Vegas, which I probably wish it wasn't in Las Vegas again, but it's gonna be so much to say about this show, from its booking to the build up to prices to TKO to everything that happened in night one. And this is only night one, folks, of WrestleMania 42. And by God, I have to say it is a bit of a doozy to get through. But before we even get ready to start with this show, let my co-hosts introduce themselves for today for this special occasion. It's a special day today.
All right. All right. Yep. Straight face 40. Back on here again. It don't feel like a special occasion. Somebody forgot to tell me.
Yo, Gerard here, man. Hell yeah, let's talk WrestleMania.
Yes, we are here. This is WrestleMania 42. Now, one thing to say that the first hour of the show was live on ESPN or ESPN channels, because in order to watch the full show, you gotta have ESPN Unlimited. But they did simulcast the show just for the first hour of WrestleMania. But we do kick off the show though with the host of WrestleMania, John Cena. After only being gone for like 3 to 4 months, I'm honestly surprised he's back already. But then again, hey, we got to boost ticket sales because they've had a very hard time trying to sell out WrestleMania due to the insane ticket prices. And we'll talk about discounts in a few minutes, especially about them just adding discounts at the last second. But John Cena is back. 3 to 4 months ago, he retired. I honestly thought he'd be gone longer, like I said before, but he made his entrance. Let's have some fun. He had a suit on. At first, like, he wasn't even going to run to the ring, but he did run to the ring, though, and he thanked the crowd. And he was pretty emotional here because you can tell he misses this already. And he ain't even been gone that long, but he was kind of emotional, and he talked about, I mean, a long time fan, first time performing everything, but how's everybody doing out there tonight? WrestleMania has been chaos. He said the build has been polarizing. Interesting word to use, polarizing, for the build of it. And he said that the time for talk is done. Who is going to step up and deliver? And he welcomed everybody to WrestleMania as the pyro shot off on the stage. So thoughts on Cena hosting and kicking his whole shindig off?
Said he haven't been just like I guess they needed
Kind of cutting out there.
star power to, boost. Uh, he needed a little bit more star power to sell the tickets. I guess I don't know. It was strange. The host don't really do anything. It's like I don't know. Uh, what y'all say about it? I really don't have really too much to say.
Um, I mean, it was John Cena, so I hope it sold tickets or sold pay-per-views at least. Um, it felt like the last year, basically, except he's wearing a suit instead of his my last time is now gear. Um, but it felt like the previous year. Felt like what it's been feeling like, and I don't mind it. I know when they did it, but to me, it didn't. It wasn't a game changer only because I've been seeing John Cena for the year. Not saying I'm tired of seeing him, just saying, is that he's the host. It's like, all right, cool. I'm glad he's here. Um, but I don't think it was a game changer.
Nah, I think he's just back, like I said, and I'm sure he's happy to be back. I just didn't think they was gonna bring him back already, because you said so much about just the last time you're gonna see him and everything. But Now he's back like 4 months later. I know he's not an active competitor anymore, but yeah, I didn't think he'd be back already. I thought he'd be gone like a year, and I'm sure we'll see more of him on Sunday, obviously, when he's back on again. But like I said, he's just here to host the show, and he'll probably have something going on later on Sunday, obviously, just to welcome everybody, and and he pops back up later in the show too. But probably may have a segment. I don't know. It's just kind of like I feel like he was just brought back to sell tickets. He was brought back to sell tickets. So good for him, but it is what it is with that with Cena. But we do kick off with the first match of the show, a six-man tag match.
Oh,
Oh, go ahead.
nah, I was saying, nah, my bad. Before we go on to the 6-man tag, I wanted to ask y'all a question. They've been doing this host thing for like a little over a decade. Remember when The Rock was hosting and all that stuff? Uh, do y'all think it does anything to the ticket sales or anything to the pay-per-view uh, buys or anything like that? Like, what do y'all think it make a difference?
I think it could. They don't choose. They choose some of the right people sometimes, but not necessarily. It depends on where it is. It depends on who's hosting. The celebrity star power that they use is maybe good for their demographic. Maybe that does actually sell tickets. From my point of view, it doesn't seem like it does. But I could see how John Cena can sell tickets for those who didn't get a chance to see him during My Time Is Now or the Last Time Is Now era. Um, but to be honest, nigga, if y'all truly trying to sell tickets off of the star power of your host, nigga, you gonna have to get goddamn Beyonce or to bring Michael Jackson back or some shit. I don't know what to tell y'all. But I don't think a host really does anything. I think Bad Bunny could. He been gone for a minute. I think if Bad Bunny ever comes back to host like a WrestleMania, if y'all keep him away from the TV for the rest of the year, I think that would be something big because last time you saw Bad Bunny, it was like pretty damn big. It was pretty nice. So I think the fans like him enough that it will sell tickets. But I don't see too many people that are culturally a ticket seller that's also connected to WWE, if that makes sense. I don't think IShowSpeed is selling too many tickets. I definitely don't think Jelly Roll or Pat McAfee are selling any fucking tickets. But we can talk about that later. But I think there are some they just aren't connected to WWE. Maybe Bad Bunny if he ever comes back.
Yeah, I could agree on that. I do sometimes depends on the host. Obviously Cena, he's always been part of this company and whatnot. And yeah, sometimes it depends on the celebrity or wrestler they bring back to host it. I'm like I said, it's just with Cena, it's like that's cool and everything, but I just didn't think he'd be back already. Like I like it felt like it's kind of a little bit too soon to some. It's like let me miss you for a minute and whatnot. It's just when I first heard about it, I'm like, damn, you back already? I'm like, okay. Like I get why they brought him back, but I just didn't think he'd be back already. Like you just left.
Y- Yeah, I felt like this was a straight miss because it's like you just said he just left. I would have took next year WrestleMania over this year WrestleMania, but I can see why nobody probably don't want to even touch that next year at all. But at the same time, it's like I, I think that was the wrong person because I would like to like miss John Cena. You know what I'm saying? Like when I hear that music, I want to hear that music like, damn, I ain't see this nigga, woo woo, but not now. It's too soon. It feel forced. It's like, man, we like John Cena every day, but it feel forced. Like y'all forcing them. Like, hey, we got John Cena. Y'all come back. Come to the show. I just felt like this was like the wrong person. But I understand why they did it, but I just needed him to stay away a little longer.
I can understand that, and I don't know what else they're gonna have him do for a Sunday show because like he didn't really do that much for Saturday, and we'll talk about him later in this. But like I said, I just thought it was too soon. I get why they're doing it, but it did feel kind of like I'm surprised he's back already type of deal. And like I said, he just opened it up for everybody. And like I said, he's just in a suit now. He's not in his regular gear, or they would. And I'm sure they probably made him, new T-shirts anyways. But like I say, he's not competing and whatnot. It's just nowadays. Well, maybe in I guess when he's promoting a movie or something, he's always in his 6-piece suit. So like it's that's how you see him in the suit all the time. But moving on from Cena, we'll get back to him. We do kick off with the first match of the night, though, a six-man tag match of LA Knight and the Usos versus Division of Logan Paul and Austin Theory and IShowSpeed. For some reason, they keep changing the Usos theme music, which I don't know why they just don't even play their older theme of Day One ish, just saying it's just us, Us. It's you and me, Us. It's all day, Us. We got it, Us. It's like, dude, like, and I swear they try to make a whole different thing like a few weeks ago on Raw, but it was so bad that they didn't even play it anymore after that. But it's like, dude, just play the Day One ish. You don't need to really keep changing the Usos music for some reason. Like, I get why they even kicked off the show, get everybody to yeet and all that. One thing I will say before I say anything about this match, did anybody see the Cameron Jay Uso thing?
Yeah, I did. Like everybody said, you knew it right out the back that, that it was staged. And, and you can tell how Jay was hitting him in the back. He was giving him the wrestling hits in the back, you but it was funny though. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was busting up laughing. I was on the floor. I'm still laughing. Every time I think about it, it was. I guess it was like a fun little segment that you know. I don't know. It was that funny to me.
Yeah, it was Adam Cole at Pat McAfee, but for black people. Um, basically. It
Yeah.
was the one for us. So I was here for it. My cousin called me thinking that the shit was real. I'm like, nigga, talk about it was on Bleacher Report. They had a picture of his mugshot. I'm like, nigga, this isn't real. He didn't even hit the man. And Cameron was like, came back with a bandage on his head. Come on, man, this is obviously fake.
it, it
But
looked it looked pretty funny when I saw it. I'm like, what? I get what they were doing and stuff, that Jay's a hothead on everything, but it's like this just looks kind of really silly at the same time. And Cameron trying to get all mad, saying like, "Y'all don't want no WrestleMania Saturday niggas on my show," and it's like, what we doing here? Like I get it, but like the work punches, it was just funny to me. I laughed. I just thought it was pretty funny because
And me and my cousin was talking about it yesterday, and he was like, "Man, it was a key. It was key words that made us know it wasn't real." And like you hit right. You hit one of the key phrases. Well, I don't want no WrestleMania Saturday niggas on my. It's like he has to be fed that because you not just saying that unless one or two days you were fed that, or you a real true real true wrestling fan. Like you have to be a real wrestling fan to even try to even to think that that was a real insult. You get what I'm saying? Like we only know that could be a real insult. Nobody outside of us would have known that that would be an insult to a wrestler to be called a WrestleMania Saturday guy. You know what I'm saying? Like so, it would keep phrases to let me know, like, to continue to let me know, like, oh man, they working the hell out of us. You know, they try to, they try to, working the angle over here. I feel you. And, it's funny, but to people who really watch wrestling and really fuck with wrestling, they would know like certain things that a non wrestling fan wouldn't even think of. And I bet a non wrestling fan would think like, man, WrestleMania Saturday, guy. What's that supposed to mean? And so they wouldn't know what it means, and so they wouldn't, think pick up on the insult.
Yeah, they wouldn't known if like unless you really follow it like that. And maybe some people did believe this and whatnot, but like I said, like if you all right, man, like you know this is a work. You know, I get it. I get what they were trying to do. I just thought it was pretty funny.
No, man, they should have built more heat though. All right, so I got a few things about Jey Uso, but we'll start with this. Um, First thing is if they wanted to build more heat, Jey Uso should have had better comebacks. Like first and foremost, like if I'm a wrestler, I don't care if I'm night one, night two, nigga, I'm at WrestleMania, man. That's crazy. But first and foremost, I wouldn't be insulted. I'd be like, you know what, that's cool. If anything, I gotta call Triple H and let him know I gotta stop being on podcasts with overnight celebrity first year roster asses who get passed up by the producer and shit, right? But if I really wanted to be an asshole, and then that would have built more heat because then it's like, oh man, and they should have kept it online or something to make it feel more real. So when he popped up, it would have been a moment. But second thing, I hate every version of the Usos music. Them niggas might as well just go back to doing like the motherfucking Samoan entrances. But or just change the name to like it's just We Us or something like that that still has the same feel. Cause like yeah, like it's
Nah,
just us, maybe together always. Like I don't
Gerard.
like they new shit. Um
You got more to add on it?
when without even really having a main event match. This nigga is dating Jada Parker.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
heard about
Is that
that.
a
I
thing?
heard about
He
that. I,
Yeah, that
that
nigga won
I
WrestleMania without even really having a big match.
Yeah, I heard him
don't.
say that on Shannon Sharp's. He was on his thing, and I heard about that before. It had been rumored for a minute. I didn't really
Yeah,
pay no much attention to it, but then again, it's like if it's photos of y'all walking, holding hands and shit, and he kind of claimed it on his podcast, like without really saying her name. So it's like, hey, good for you. I ain't mad at you.
right, man. I ain't
Man,
mad at you at
hey,
all,
I ain't mad
bro.
at you at
My
all.
I
Like,
ain't
goodness,
mad.
tip my hat
tip
off
off,
to you. Like,
man. Tip the hat off to you,
Only
bro.
thing I'm mad at is that I'm not. It should have been me.
yeah, should have been me.
Should
Like,
have been me.
I'm like, cause I didn't believe first. I didn't pay much attention because I just thought it was just some internet stuff people was saying. But it's like the more I guess photos you see and all that, and him just kind of saying without saying it, it's like, hey man, if you hitting that shit, hats off, my nigga. Um, like it is
Yeah.
what it is, and I know
My
people
thing,
trying to say like, I guess he's already divorced from his wife, so like fair game at that point. So hey, props to him. I ain't mad at him.
man, 21 Savage and Jay Uso both smashing baddies while they married, nigga. City Boys up 3,000 points.
But nah, man, he was like, "Hey, she the baddest one down there." I'm like, "Hey, you know what, nigga, you got a point." I was like, "Yeah, he got a real good point." So props to him. But as for this match, though, with the Usos, I'm gonna be honest. I don't have a lot to say about this. Me personally, going into it, listen, I like IShowSpeed. Did I really need to see him on this? Not really. I get why
Mm-mm.
they put him on here. I know WWE wants to really tap into the whole streamers, influencers, and YouTubers nowadays and stuff. And Speed really did train for this. He really did. There's videos of it online. He trained with Randy Orton and stuff. So I never believed he was, not gonna do bad out here. And I think they kept it very short and sweet. It didn't really go too crazy anything. Because remember, he was like the stories that he's all petrified and stuff, and not really wanting to be in this in general and stuff. And like I said, he had some crazy moves up that, like nothing too crazy, but obviously he had some big moves and stuff out there. Um, and everything. It ended up with just like what LA Knight. Well, I think Speed like got knocked into what was it, Austin Theory or something like that. But like Knight shoved Knight shoved Theory into Speed, and then Knight hit his finisher, and that was kind of it. The only big moment to talk about this match was that Logan Paul got pissed off. He punched Speed and knocked him to the ground and stuff. And he threw him on the floor. Was gonna put him through a table, which we're gonna be seeing a lot of this table throughout the night. But yeah, but he had him on it. But the Usos and LA Knight decided to help. They hit the 1D on Logan, which looked really bad, by the way, and damn near missed. That didn't look good. And then like LA, they got Speed back in the ring and they surrounded him, and he did like a big frog splash off the ring post, putting Logan through the table. So it was okay. Like I said, it wasn't nothing big. The faces won. I do kind of find it funny that the Usos did not try to even get the rematch clause for the tag team titles after they just lost it, but they wanted to go with the 6 man because they wanted to get Speed on here. And listen, I've had debates about Speed. Like I said, he is a big name to people. Everybody knows him on the internet and stuff. I've argued people if he's like the biggest celebrity they have on here. I don't know if this debate have we put internet people up that high nowadays or something, because he has a lot of followers. People follow him, and I've watched the guy. I find him entertaining and whatnot. I know some niggas call him a coon sometime, but um, I didn't think he did bad out here. I think they kept it short and sweet and to the point. It didn't overstay its welcome, so I didn't really have much of a problem with this. It's just going into it like, did we really need him on the card? And I think you said this early, Kyle. How many fans was he really gonna draw into that were gonna come watch him? It's like we said this about Logan Paul before when he got here. It's like, how many of his fans about to really come over and watch him wrestle?
Now, I will say this. Based off of how many views they get on YouTube whenever Speed does things, and you look at the SmackDown views, he does bring a lot of free viewership, man. So the fact that they use that as their first hour match to draw people in, I can see them getting a percentage of pay-per-view sales or ESPN sales, just people who might see Speed and might like wrestling. I know kid me would use that as a reason to beg my mom for WrestleMania, if that makes sense. So I could see the sell point and why they would use I Show Speed, especially in that first hour. Now, if it was like co-main event, I Show Speed 6 man match, that doesn't make sense. But the first hour, that does make sense to me. Um, is I Show Speed a coon? No. But he does make a lot of coon faces when he does wrestling promos, and I don't know why. I just think he just is over emotional. He over emotes, but black people and over emoting on camera around white people just looks like cooning. I don't think he is though. Um, what else? Yeah, but overall, I think it was a good match. I don't mind celebrity matches. I don't like, bro. I want I Show Speed Logan Paul versus Jelly Roll, Pat McAfee and Mr. Beast. But please just give it to me in the first match of night one. Don't throw it in the main event, but we'll talk about that later. I'm just like, again, I don't mind it when you take it seriously, having fun. Again, I love Snoop Dogg. I don't ever want to see Snoop Dogg wrestle only because, again, it just doesn't look real. It doesn't look good. I love that Snoop Dogg is having fun out there, but I'm cool on watching him wrestle. At least when you get Logan Paul or Bad Bunny or even Jelly Roll and I Show Speed, them niggas are doing something and they trying. Maybe not so much Jelly Roll, he trying, but I can't believe him. But I Show Speed, Logan Paul for sure. I could believe them being like cruiserweight type wrestlers. Logan Paul gets better every time I see him. I ain't gonna front. I understand he's a piece of shit, but he's a good wrestler. I'm not gonna keep lying and saying that he's a bad wrestler. He's a good wrestler. I just think I think the placement of this match was perfect if I'm gonna watch this match. Early, out the way, lighthearted, good way to start. Nice little palate cleanser to start WrestleMania, if you ask me.
I, I definitely agree. Lighthearted, good little palate cleanser. Get it out the way. It wasn't it wasn't too bad. Um, got some excitement in it. It wasn't even you know, even at the end when IShowSpeed put Logan Paul through the table, it still put some excitement into like night one. Like, all right, cool, this is what we gonna start off with, you know. Um IShowSpeed was okay. You know, he didn't really do too much in the ring, and you know, and the stuff that he did, it was pretty good. You know, not gonna lie. You know, the Hurricane, you know, oh yeah, Bryce, I would definitely agree with you that 1D was horrible. That 1D was horrible. Oh no, he missed that man by a whole foot. Like how, bro? Where you? But the Usos been gaining this reputation lately. Like not lately, but I guess everybody took out their rose colored glasses and like saw like, hey, he God damn, bro, how you miss that man like that? But it wasn't that bad of a match. He got it out the way, like Gerard said, and that's how you basically begin night one.
Yeah, like it was like short, sweet, out of the way. That's it. Nothing too long. It went like 7 minutes anyway, so I don't really got much to say about it. Like it served its purpose. I get it. Okay, I definitely get it because some wonder if it was even just gonna be LA Knight versus I Show Speed, and I didn't think that was gonna happen anyways. So it was a tag match just to mask some things up and whatnot. So it it is what it is, really is. So it's not much a lot to say. I will say this. It's kind of funny. I know it's crazy that Jey Uso kicked it off last year being the world champion and getting that title shot. Now he's just in a tag team match. You
It's a
know,
lot of people that fell for grace for last year. Shoot, we can start with Tiffany Stratton, and quite a few people that that fell for grace. And,
yeah.
you know,
We'll get to them. We'll get them. You got a point. That
And I
even
don't.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, and I was gonna say I don't mind the Usos fall from grace. I like. I'm the type of person I like a good underdog story, and I don't mind when former main eventers and whatnot take a step back. I think that was something to me one of the problems with the Triple H run when he had that run. One of my problems with the Roman Reigns run. I'm sure if you listen to these podcasts enough, you will find some videos of me about a year or two ago. Like I'm tired of this 4 year run that Roman Reigns is on. He don't even win matches by himself. All the shit that CM Punk is saying right now, I was saying, I'm telling you, profit shit. But in all seriousness, I personally, I don't know. I just the only thing about um last thing about this ISO speed thing and all of that. Only thing I have a gripe about with that match was I hate when a wrestler is new and you put him like I'm glad they put him in a match with someone, but like looking at the Jelly Roll, for instance, and it doesn't really have anything to do with the I Show Speed match because I appreciate that they put him in a tag team match, but like they really pushing Jelly Roll like he about to start having like solo matches at pay-per-views, and I don't like that. I think if you're a celebrity, again, Logan Paul, I think is like one of the special cases in which a celebrity just comes in and he kind of gets wrestling, even if he's not from the quote unquote cloth of a wrestler. Like I think there's just certain things that he does, and this is mad controversial, and I'm still say it. To me, he reminds me of Javon Evans as far as somebody who understands who he is as a wrestler and what he can bring. That to me is Logan Paul, and he's trying. I think you just keep adding too many celebrities in again. Like I don't want to see no solo shit, but for sure I want to see. Like I do appreciate the celebrity wrestlers if that makes sense. That's my last thing on it.
hey,
No,
I wanted to ask you, Gerard, when you were saying like you don't mind the celebrities and stuff. And I do agree, like celebrities and WrestleMania go hand in hand and stuff. But do you think this year, especially, do you think it was hand fisted, like force that how many celebrities that we seen over the time that back even from back in the day, and we didn't really see as many celebrities. And if they was really like was the like they wasn't the main part. Like you were saying, like you hope that Jelly Roll don't get a single run. I hope I don't see no damn Jelly Roll get a single run either. Shit,
Man, that
that'll be
would
some
be
silly
sick.
shit.
Like, could
But
you imagine Jelly Roll holding up the Intercontinental Championship?
Oh
please no,
God, no, no, no! Don't give them any ideas.
please don't get them any ideas for that, man. They might do it. But do you think this year was just too hand fisted?
Man, hell yeah. Again, and we gonna get to it later for sure. When we talk the main event. But hell yeah, I think and honestly, I don't even think it was a WWE issue either. But for sure, this year, last year, a little bit, really the year before that too.
Yeah.
If I'm thinking about it correctly, like these last few years at WrestleMania, especially if it involves Cody Rhodes in any way, shape, or form, is gonna have way too many celebrities or way too many shenanigans. But we can get to that around the main event because
Yeah,
I'm trying to save all my energy for that.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
but nah. Like I said, it was a good opener though, and whatnot. So, it was what it was and everything. So, yeah, we're definitely gonna get into celebrities, and we'll probably discuss LA Knight's booking another time. Cause don't get me started on that. But moving on though, as we get into the next match, I know they show, like I said, more people in the crowd. Hey, we got George Kittle drinking almost half the night. I thought they were gonna make that a running thing to see how many beers he could chug, but we only saw that twice at least. But
Eight OTAs right around the corner for that nigga. Like, man, hey, you are drinking hard. I mean, the draft is like this week, and the OTAs is like right around the corner for these niggas. Like, my goodness, I don't think he should be doing this shit, but hey, I guess so.
No, when you're an athlete and you got the type of metabolism a nigga like Kittle probably has, man, he sobered up by the end of that night. I promise you, bro. One good burrito, he's solid.
he'll be all right. He'll be all right by the end of the night. 'Cause I thought I was gonna make that a thing all night with him drinking because I'm like he was chugging it down for real. But moving on to the next match, we got Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu in an unsanctioned match. Jacob Fatu came out with Polynesian fire dancers out there. I like this gear; it looked really cool, like the camo and stuff. Drew McIntyre brought his sword back, looked like he crashed through a castle and everything. To be honest, this match reminded me. I don't even feel like it was an unsanctioned match. It just felt like a regular WWE hardcore street fight and whatnot. I know it's so many limits you can only do when it comes to like WWE hardcore matches. Because I'm sure say, oh man, this is unsanctioned. They should have went more crazy out there. Like, listen, people, this isn't like what you're gonna see on AEW of how crazy they can get. All right. This reminded me almost like Drew versus Priest almost last year in a way because they had a kind of a street fight no DQ match and stuff. Because even as the match began, Fatu diving onto Drew to the outside, running him around the ring posts and stuff. We got tables in the ring, we got chairs, even a toolbox, which McIntyre looked like he had flashbacks, I guess, of CM Punk when it comes to the toolbox and how his head bled crazy that time. But Drew's basically just fighting, going from underneath the ring and coming back and taking out Jacob from behind. Even Drew taking his brother's phone, I guess he was by ringside, kind of like what he did last time, like the board at work thing, taking a picture. Like he did that with Priest last year, so he did it the same thing here. And once he recorded himself, and then slamming the phone onto Jacob's head and whatnot. He got a wrench from the toolbox, but Jacob him, with the Samoan drop. Um, Drew him with the Glasgow kiss and whatnot. Then we got chairs involved again. I know they like threw him into like to the ring post and stuff. Drew coming back with a Claymore kick, going to kick out. Jacob doing like his big double jump moonsault, but that was still a kick out then. And then Drew getting a wrench, going back to Jacob's forehead, trying to hit him with that. Even getting two chairs into the ring. He even took the referee's belt because he's had problem with the referee in the ring. And once he took the belt and started whipping with it and stuff, Jacob got him with a super kicked in right after. Got the toolbox again. Hit McIntyre with the toolbox. Um, Still like a 2 count and stuff. And then if I remember, they got a table set up in the middle of the ring. Uh, Drew trying to throw a chair at him. I think he was trying to hit him with the toolbox then, but I think yeah, Jacob hit Drew with the toolbox and stuff, and put him on the table. Hit the double jump moonsault and won the match from there. And Jacob Fatu won. Like I said, the match wasn't bad. It's so much you can do when it comes to hardcore WWE matches. I think this match could have used blood, especially how the build is going for this. I don't think the build has been bad because it's mostly been Drew talking about Jacob like, you've been locked up, you're an animal, you need to go back to jail and all that because he's had a criminal history and all that. And Jacob saying like, I'm a changed man now, but if you want the old me, I'm gonna bring you the old me tonight. But like I said, this was what it was. It wasn't bad or anything, but I figured Jacob was gonna win anyways. But the match was what it was.
I think it would have been funnier if Jacob Fatu shanked that nigga at the end and was like, I told you the old me was back, bitch. But, I think that would have caused some issues. But again, that's just me. But I think that match might have been the best match of the night, or one of the best matches for sure. I hella enjoyed that match. I agree with Bryce. There should have been a lot more blood, or at least a little blood, some blood. Um, but also, since it was an unsanctioned match, now
Go ahead, you kind of cut off
do
there
they
for.
have to? Do
Sorry, you
they
kind of
have to like? I'm sorry.
you had cut off, so I didn't hear what you said. Like, you want to say it again?
Oh no, I was asking, is an unsanctioned match and a false count anywhere match one and the same? Like, or is it that they have to still get pinned in the ring?
The crazy part about it, I thought it was no pinfall or submission in an unsanctioned match. I thought you had to knock the man out, or if the man could really continue or anything like that. Me and my cousin were kind of confused last night when we saw the pinfall. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I remember. I don't know if it probably was. I probably don't remember, but I thought the unsanctioned match was kind of like you know, one of those like fall count, not fall counts, last man standing type of thing.
Hmm.
Like if a man can't get up, type of thing.
Now, I do know in the beginning of the match they did say like the only way that you can win is like pinfall or submission.
All right.
And again, I agree. It should have been like a last person standing kind of situation. And my only gripe is if you weren't gonna bring blood into it, I would have appreciated y'all at least doing kind of like a Kevin Owens Stone Cold kind of situation. Y'all go into the crowd and kind of make it a little more hardcore, or go backstage, or fight past Gorilla or some shit like that. Just to make it a little more of a wild match. Everything was just kind of in the ring area, and that was cool. And y'all still made it work. I think the story told with the toolbox and Drew McIntyre damn near being afraid of the toolbox. This nigga didn't even want to touch the fucking toolbox for real. Because the last time it did, that shit gave his ass a ton of stitches. So I think that was cool, but I feel like they could have did a little bit more as far as just making the match just crazier. Throw it into the crowd, take it backstage. You know what I mean?
it it felt
And
safe,
smack him in the
honestly.
head.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't
Yeah,
mean to
it
cut
just
you
felt
off.
like I was. Oh no, it's cool. I was looking at I think it was WrestleMania, but it was the one with Kane versus Big Show versus I think it was like I forgot who else was in that
Raven.
hardcore match. I think it
Raven.
was Raven. And like how they were everywhere in that goddamn stadium. It was like, well, weren't they in that stadium? They going through glass, they going through, you know what I mean? The janitor's closet and stuff like that. Like they could have brought that into the match, and I think that would have made it a 10 out of 10 match. If they would have just like took it backstage and just went all around the arena with it and just made it like I hate you match for real. Because the way they've been building it, like they've been fighting everywhere backstage anyway, you might as well just make it like a whatever kind of match, like any falls count anywhere or last man standing, and that shit backstage. You done threw that man through a glass table. You done ran him over with a golf cart. All kinds of stuff. I was looking for that kind of mayhem. So it was a good match, but it could have been a lot better.
I'm gonna be honest,
I,
and we'll get to it later, but I feel like I know what match was more wilder than this one, but we'll get into that later.
I, I feel like they gave the people with they gave the people match with the blood the wrong match. I mean the wrong match, bro. I real talk. I don't think that match that we gonna get to eventually later on. We gonna get to that match, but I don't think that match needed as much as this match needed because, like Gerard just said, like they were building this as a blood feud. Like the first thing that they really had any type of interaction with when the feud started, the man got ran over by a car. It was sitting outside the windshield, getting
You know
his
what I
head
mean?
busted in.
You know what I
You know,
mean?
yeah. So I'm thinking to myself, like they started out like they started out balls to the wall. So why not just end it like that? But I guess one they chose to put this on ESPN too. So that's really what no blood was not going to be on there at all, and I kind of figured that right off the bat. But I think they gave the blood to the wrong match, bro. And this was the match that needed blood for real.
Yeah, especially how this feud is gone and stuff, and them fighting all over the place, and in through the backstage area and the parking lot, and falling off ledges and all that stuff. You think it would be that, but it wasn't. I just thought it was just a regular street fight, and it was pretty tame in a way. I thought, like it wasn't bad, but it was just that WWE style of a hardcore match. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Completely get it.
So yeah, like it was what it was, to be honest with this one. But other than that, we do move on to the next match. Was a fatal four way for the women's tag team titles. Um we had looking at the names here. We got Bailey and Bird Girl, Charlotte and Alexa, which one looked like a moth. Bliss, I thought it was like a bit of a tribute to Bray Wyatt, and Charlotte almost kind of dressed like a butterfly. We got the Irresistible Forces of Lash Legend and Fridge. I mean Nia Jax, which they had like white masks coming out there. I guess some say it was a homage to Demolition, and it was supposed to be the Bella Twins, but we haven't really seen much of the Bella Twins involved in this feud because Nikki got hurt in a match not that long ago, and her ankle, I guess, was hurt, so we didn't know if she was even gonna be in this match. Which Nikki did come out though in her gear, but she had a walking boot on and a crutch. And she said she's not medically clear, she can't do it, and she didn't want Brie to lose her WrestleMania moment, so she decided to call a friend. And who is that friend? The return of Paige. Now, Paige had already been announced. Well, we already heard she re-signed back with the company on Friday. I think it's so funny that Cole said, like, this is such a big surprise to everybody. And then the camera cuts to somebody saying, "Welcome back, Paige," with a sign up. So everybody knew she was back. You can't say this was a surprise. But I think Paige probably got one of the biggest pops of the night, though. I
Oh
do
man,
believe
my
that.
bad.
No, you good. But no, I thought she had one of the biggest pops of the night. And to be honest, I thought she did good. Now I'm sure it's gonna be like, especially how she left. Let's remember, I think once she got hired back, I kind of wonder, are they gonna really let her wrestle again? Because she left because they would not let her back in the ring because of her neck. And then she went to AEW, which wasn't really all that. Which it looked like it started off kind of hot, but she just kind of faded off after a while. And maybe that they didn't want to risk her neck all the way. Some say she just used Tony Khan to get paid the money mark and stuff, and I'm sure there'll be some things to say about that. As for the match itself, I think Paige did what she did out there. I didn't think she looked bad. Um, it was good and whatnot. So like I think the tag match obviously just match. You don't want to keep her out there too long and stuff because we don't know what. And maybe her neck is better. I don't know, but I didn't think she looked bad. Like to me, the match was the match. I didn't really care going into this. I kind of stopped paying attention what was going on after a while because it just like it was just a DQ finish every week with whichever team member was going to face the teammate member. Did I think Paige and them Nikki Brie Bella was going to win? I felt so once I saw Paige because like to be honest, if Nikki didn't even get hurt, it could have been anybody's ball game. And she still got involved in the match, pulling Charlotte out and hitting her with her crutch. I thought she was about to take her boot off and said, "I was faking it the whole time" and stuff. But Paige hit her rampage onto Alexa Bliss to get the win. So Paige and Brie Bella won, and Paige was emotional. And like I said, it got a big pop, and it was a nice moment. Like I said, if Paige didn't come back, I thought this could have been anybody's ball game. Honestly, it could have been Lash and them retaining. I don't know who could have won. I didn't really care about this anyways, but hey, they're trying with the women's tag division. It's just nobody really cares that much. But Paige was mostly the only thing to talk about in this with her big return. Thoughts?
Um, all right, first and foremost, you ain't gonna disrespect Nia Jax in my vicinity, calling her no Fridge. Let me tell you something, Nia Jax, if you ever, for any reason, listen to Bryce's podcast, I'm here. No, I'm here. Same for you, Bailey. I'm here for both of y'all, whichever one responds first. But overall, it was a Divas tag team match. It was really cool to see Paige. Again, I haven't really been watching AW as much, which I really want to change. I feel like what I've been seeing every time I, go to AEW, I'm impressed. Maybe because I've been away from it for so long. So, like, I'm the type of person where it's like, if I'm away, I'm just going to be happy to see wrestlers wrestle. So I don't know much about the storylines in AEW right now. But last time I saw her, she was doing great. Seeing her back in WWE, I'm sure Xavier Woods was excited. Um, no, in all seriousness, I think I think the fans were truly excited to see her back in WWE. Again, I feel like it's to me she got the same type of pop that like a Chris Jericho would if he came back, where it was
Hmm.
like we just happy to see you back in WWE. Even though the shit you've been doing, maybe not hasn't been the greatest things in the world outside of WWE. Although he's done some great things with AEW, not so much recently from what I've seen personally. But I think it was more so like a pop, like, yes, we're happy to see you back. I don't think it was a pop that was like, yes, we want you to win a women's tag team champion. Me personally, like, I think she could have, but it also makes sense for her story. She debuted winning the championship. She came back winning the championship. It's not a main championship, so it's something that she can maybe win and lose in a few months. Maybe a Bella storyline will come in once well, I forget if it was Bria Bella, whichever one was injured. Whenever they come back, that could become like a heel storyline for them. They fuck over Paige, somehow win the tag team championships, or they lose it because of the Bellas, and they start some type of tag team feud with Paige and maybe somebody else, maybe like Charlotte. I don't know, but I honestly thought Paige's comeback was going to be a Monday night after Raw situation where it was like, one of the big surprises is Paige coming back on Raw. I thought that was going to be like something because I knew she was going to come back. Bryce had texted me a while back. And honestly, if you didn't text me, it would have been a surprise for real for me at least. Um, so yeah, it was overall cool. I don't think they should have won. Um, but we here now. I'm glad it wasn't Charlotte and Alexa Bliss. No disrespect to them. I just feel like they win a lot anyway. What's another championship for those two, right? Um, but definitely, I feel like the Bella and Paige shouldn't have won. I think it should have been just like a really cool surprise, if anything.
Oh, yeah, like Bryce said, like once you saw Paige was in the match, you knew who was gonna win. And I just did feel like Gerard said, like I really did feel like they should have been the ones that won the belts, but at the same time, it's like I was half ass paying attention to this match because, uh, like, I want them to be, I want to be excited for the tag team titles, but they don't give me anything to be excited for. They throw a lot of people in there and just hope you're going to be excited for a lot of big names that's in the tag team division now. You got Charlotte, you got Alexa, you got Bailey, you got Nia. These are all former women champions. You know what I'm saying? So they want you to feel the excitement that they want that they feel, but it's not the same. Even though like these are former women champions, and these are people who in their own right had good matches, good single matches. Who to say they were gonna be good as a tag team? I guess we seeing that right now, but I I think what gonna happen is Paige right now got the belts. Nikki probably gonna be well enough to wrestle soon enough. So they gonna probably turn. You know, Paige gonna have to find her tag team partner. Probably gonna be AJ Lee. They have a big tag team match one day on one of these pay per views. Who knows? But yeah, congratulations. I guess I
Uh,
don't know what else to say.
I, I'll say this one thing, couple things. One, to say Gerard, I always say that fridge joke, but no, she lost weight though for real. Um,
Yeah, she did.
she did lose weight though, so I say the fridge thing to be funny. But two, um, when it comes to women's tag titles, I'm just to the point. It's like the only way to get people to care is who you put the belts on and the name and stuff. It's usually like the name, even though it's a lot of makeshift tag teams. I figured it was gonna be a fatal four-way tag title match, anyways. Then again, I didn't even know how the Bellas even really got in. It's like they were just back, and then they just said, "We earned the title." Like you didn't beat anybody though to get a title shot. It never, and then they disappeared for multiple weeks at first. Cause I remember Bree came back to the Rumble and it was a big deal. The people went nuts for it. And then it was like what they showed up on Raw the next night and it's just like they were in line for a title shot. Obviously the pop wasn't as big and the only thing I remember from that because what was it like I think it was like Philly or something. All they just said they was in line for the tag title shots, and then people were chanting something because I guess Nikki's like fucking one of the Philadelphia Eagles players, I believe. And yeah, they just kind of got in this title shot. Bailey and Bird Girl have been a tag team for over a year now and never even won the tag titles, which let's remember, Bailey didn't even make it to Mania last year. She got taken out. So I'm wondering how long are they gonna be a team? Because they were playing in the Bailey being all bipolar and crazy, but never ever came to that. So I don't know. It's like once again, it's like you kind of want to care, but given what I've seen, I didn't really care much going into this anyways. Like I said, it could have been anybody's ball game. Like I said, I know it's a lot of makeshift tag teams. I could give two shits about the Bellas. This was all about Paige's big return.
Man,
And the
I
crazy part about it, that was last minute because they just recently just signed her earlier this week, right? I
Friday.
mean, Friday, shit, right? Just 2 days, just a day ago, really. Yeah, prior to that match. So, man, it became it became about Paige return, but shit, it wasn't about that going into WrestleMania before her resigning.
man, you know what would have happened if they didn't sign Paige, right?
Who else were they
Triple
brought
H
in?
Triple H would have called in immediately. Where is Jordan Grace? Someone,
Well, after what I saw Friday, they did bring Jordan Grace back to lose to Tiffany Stratton.
Yep, yep.
oh wow, I didn't see that Friday actually. Damn.
And
She
she came out to my goodness, they cool her. They did something to her. It's to the point that the crowd ain't even really excited to see nothing about her.
That sucks, man, because I think you know what I think it is, man? I think it could be a Roman Reigns type push. Do you think they pushing her too much?
I can't even say they pushing Jordan Grace too much. They get Jordan Grace had been hurt for a while, and to be honest, she's been gone for a minute. And even when she got to the main roster, I can't say she was getting pushed that fast. she went against Jade, but I don't think a lot of people thought she was. Honestly, I thought she was the only other kind of credible person that looked like that could beat Jade.
No,
And
I
then that,
agree.
yeah, and it's like who else really about to beat Jade then after that? And we'll kind of get to a little bit of that later on because I was like, who's really about to beat Jade? And you don't want to just keep throwing Tiffany back. So I don't know is what it with
I
Jordan
don't
Grace
know.
right now. It's like, but yeah, she returned, she came back, and she lost, and that was it.
Man, it sounds like the only two people that can beat Jade are goddamn pregnant or just had a
Well,
baby.
yeah, and we'll get to that later on because that kind of throws a lot of the plans I had for tomorrow and probably coming in a week. So my ideas out the window, but we'll get to that later on. But nah, I don't know that's what Jordan Grace is booking or where it goes next for her. But like I said, the tag match was the tag match. But like I said, if it wasn't going to be Paige, I don't know. Maybe they call somebody from NXT. I don't know who they would have put in there. I don't know. It could have been anybody. But given we already knew Paige was back, I figured it was gonna be Paige. I just did. But moving on from the tag match though, the women's intercontinental championship was on the line. AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. Becky came out with her band, which a lot of people saying was very lip synced very badly. When the band that came out that performs a new theme song, a lot of people pointing that out. AJ had like multiple kids come out there dressed as her with a women's intercontinental title. I'm gonna be honest, and like I said, a lot of these matches were very short. That's one thing I've noticed throughout every match throughout this show. The show is relatively going fast. This show is brought to you by some type of advertisement. I don't know if it was Minute Maid Lemonade here or Mandalorian and Grogu because we got so many ads in every match. Like they got to keep putting that out there and the ads in the ring. And even Gerard, you told me this. I believe the green shirt guy's name was on the actual ring, like inside the ring. His name was there with several other people and stuff.
I think you were able to buy like
Yeah, you could back.
purchase.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, which is crazy.
So yeah, it's so many
I
ads.
think it was like $2,000 though.
Dude, sometime I
No,
look at that guy, I either say he's on the payroll or he's just that rich.
I think he's just that rich, bro. I think because again, they've like, I mean, they
It
wouldn't have a reason to admit it, but they've said numerous times we don't pay him to be here.
I say about a few
could,
fans in the crowd.
but to be honest with you, if they go out their way and say that, like they try to make sure that nobody think like we don't pay this guy to come over here and be a fan. He probably just got a little bit a limited disposable money and no time. I mean, really a lot of time. You know what I'm saying? Like he travels a lot too, so he got to have a lot of time on his hand and disposable money out the ass.
Especially
All I'm saying is we don't know this nigga background and we don't know what he do for work. He could be a tech guy. I'm trying to think of ways that you can work, make a lot of money, and also travel a lot at the same time. And the only thing I can think is remote. This is side theory shit. But like maybe he works in tech, maybe he has a lot of old money that like he inherited. I don't know what the fuck he does.
I can
I often think about it though.
I can
What
say
does
that
he
about a few fans in the crowd that are always in the front row because he was in the front row too. And listen, man, we
yeah.
already know that WrestleMania is just cost you an arm and a leg right now, or saying you got to spend a mortgage, or
Yeah.
where you choose between your firstborn child or going to this show and whatnot. Even though they want to put discounts at the last second because they weren't really selling like that, and I heard that sales are really down anyways, but yeah, the prices are very high, and I do
Man, this
wonder
is
how
the
much money this man does have sometimes to even do all of this and stuff.
Hey, can I say something about that right quick?
Go ahead.
Um, I hate that them niggas tried to put that like the night one on sale like a week before WrestleMania. First of all, if I'm a normal Joe Schmo person, who am like, why do you think any normal person who doesn't live in or around Las Vegas is going to buy a plane ticket, which is probably about $400 there and back? Also, try to find a hotel in Las Vegas a week before WrestleMania. Find a hotel or Airbnb, and also spend $1,000+ per ticket. And you probably not going alone because who's going alone to WrestleMania? So now you done paid almost $8,000 on the fly to go to WrestleMania. Who's doing that? What normal person is like, I'm not gonna spend the regular $4,000 for these WrestleMania tickets, but I will pay my $1,000 for these WrestleMania tickets. I just been waiting for them to go down. I think if they couldn't afford them when they first came out, they definitely not gonna afford the price drop a week before WrestleMania. I think that shit was bullshit.
It's still
I with you on that. I with you on that. Like, come on now. Like me. Like, just like, oh my God, they got 25% off. Hey, that's go to Vegas.
Like
Come
who's
on,
doing
like,
this? Like who's paying all of this money on the whim if you weren't able to do it
oh no, what?
if you weren't able to do it beforehand? You're not gonna be able to do it
I
now.
would have.
Who won the lottery within that time span?
on
And
the
now all of a
fly.
sudden wants to go to WrestleMania.
Like on the freaking fly. Like if you got it like that, I guess.
Oh
But
man.
dude, you better be trying to gamble to get some of that money back down there since you're in Vegas or something. But
Honestly, if I was one of these Instagram dudes, I would have done that. I would have been like, I'm buying WrestleMania tickets and I'm gonna use Rain Bet to hopefully make my money back.
I tell you, man, I feel like they just gotta appeal to rich people. It's that TKO stuff. Like you gotta feel like they want to, appeal to rich folks, or if you're an influencer or something, then you got the money to do this. Or I don't know, but it's like the fact that you're doing this ticket sales discounts literally like a week before the show. It's a lot of desperation mode when trying to sell tickets. I felt like with Mania, and it's felt like that throughout this build, but the sales thing was a telling sign. But just to say with this match, I'm gonna be honest. This match felt more about Becky versus the referee, which they look like they're building, and they've kind of built this for a minute now, which probably gonna end into a match. The match with AJ and Becky, it was okay. I don't know if the Chamber was better than that. Like I said, I know they came back with AJ trying to get the Black Widow and Becky trying to pull the ref and pulling the turnbuckle pad down and stuff. They try to steal each other's finisher, and then like what was it? Becky, she went back into the corner, but she pulled the turnbuckle pad from behind her, and AJ was supposed to run into her, and she pulled the referee into her, which AJ crashed into the referee, and then Becky threw AJ into the exposed turnbuckle pad, and then hit a manhandle slam, and that's kind of it. And Becky won the title back. I thought she was gonna win. I'm gonna be honest. This feud, I haven't really seen much about it. I'm honestly surprised they didn't even have a stipulation for this. I actually thought it'd be a stipulation match for some reason, given they had a regular match back at the Elimination Chamber. But it was just a regular match, but the story kind of felt more about Becky versus the referee, which may lead into a match. That's all I could take from this, really. And it was once again relatively short, very short.
Um, I I felt like every time I've been watching an AJ Lee match, in the current run, is it's like uh, I feel like she needs to be there a little bit more because every time I see her in the ring, it's not looking too good. You know what I'm saying? Not to me. I mean, she could be. She might look good to y'all. I don't know, but in my opinion, I swear to you, it's like I feel like she should be there more because it's a hinder to her performance. Every time she come back, it's like it's okayish. It really, like you said, it really was about Becky and the ref. You know, AJ was just in a match.
Um, yeah, low key, I damn near agree, but I will give this caveat. AJ just came back after how many years of not wrestling? I think we need to give her the same leeway that we gave Edge and CM Punk when they first came back. Because I've said the same thing about both of those dudes, definitely when they first came back. It was like, okay, these dudes, they obviously rusty as hell. They needed a little more time before they really got in the ring. But now you look at Edge and CM Punk, especially CM Punk now, after about a year, a few years of him really, doing the damn thing and staying in it and staying consistent in it. Like to me, his matches have definitely gotten better compared to when he first came back. Same thing with Edge, with some of the matches that he's had, even the ones in AEW. Um, you can tell he's a lot better than when he first came back with that long ass match versus Randy Orton. That just went way too long. So like, I'm gonna give her the same leeway. For sure, it doesn't feel like OG AJ Lee. She's getting back to it. It's probably gonna take until like next year's WrestleMania before you really like, okay, there we go, AJ. She put on a banger. It's gonna take a while. So I'm gonna give it time. I think it takes again, just like her husband, I think things will definitely get a lot better for both of them once they get into their natural habitat, which is heel work, being the bad guy, AJ being the crazy bitch, CM Punk being the crazy guy. Um, Once they get into that mode, which I feel like for CM Punk might be happening tonight, but let's see. Um, I definitely feel like that's when it's really gonna pick up for both of them, especially someone like AJ Lee. Once she gets into her bag, when she can really get on the mic and really get on them promos the way that she used to, where it was like, this bitch is out of her mind. Like, what is wrong with her? Like she dressed up like Becky Lynch's mother. Like they're following them around or some shit like that. So like once it get back to that mode, for sure, it's gonna be like, all right, cool. And then she'll get better with her matches. But I agree. It was really just like AJ Lee was there for a Becky Lynch promo with the referee, which I feel like people are more so anticipating right now. I think the referee, which is wild to say, has a lot of fucking not heat, but has a lot of motion going right now. So a lot of people want to see that happen. I want to see what happens with that. I was just telling Bryce yesterday it's gonna be crazy when some years pass and she's like the women's intercontinental champion or some shit. And it's like, damn, they're gonna be showing them vignettes when she was like a goddamn referee for hella years and her build up. So I hope it becomes that for her. She becomes like one of the first referee turned wrestlers or however it goes that way. So let's see what that does. But definitely for AJ Lee, I see way better things, especially once she gets past this feud. So now hopefully now that they're finished with the Becky Lynch feud, hopefully. She can go and do something else while Becky Lynch focuses on that. And, maybe the ref loses her the title again, which is what leads to their match. We'll see what happens with it, though.
I'm kind of with you to that to some extent. Like I am with you. I getting the rust off because I don't know. I mean, which match is AJ on at this point since coming back, and maybe the
Four.
fourth, number four.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't think it was all that. It was what it was, but I can understand. I don't know. Maybe some people are kind of still going off maybe a nostalgia thing because like AJ's back, but I've had conversations with people before about like you look at AJ back then and now, like, was AJ really that great at the time, even back then? And I get it's a different
Oh, that's
environment.
hold on. Who said that shit?
I had a
Hey,
few people say
I
that, but
honestly, I
I
used
think
to
it's a
think
different environment now.
honestly, I used to think Bryce used to make it up when he say they, like people would say it. And then like I've actually heard him talk about some of the people and I'm like, no, these niggas is real. So like somebody
Yeah,
said it.
I know. I
Somebody said
know.
it.
Don't get me wrong, Gerard. Don't get me wrong. I know somebody said it. I know somebody because it's always that guy out there. You know
Man,
what I'm saying?
just a pessimistic wrestling fan, bro. I call him the pessimistic wrestling fan, and they all exist.
Because
But
I'm looking like, what you mean? What? She wasn't that back then. She the one who. What? Come on, man. All right.
My only answer would be like, do you see the pop when she came back? Do you do you see the pop when she does anything still? Like, granted, like, she still got to get herself back into the wrestling, but nigga, the yeah, come on, man. We can't forget.
yeah, yeah, because I've seen that before. But hell, I've had people try to still convince me that the Bellas were really the shit like that before, and I'm like, they really weren't. You're
Okay,
not
now
gonna
that I agree.
convince me still on that. I'll admit Nikki was better than Brie, but like I still think it's a little bit of revisionist history, but no, I've heard that about AJ before. Like I said, I think it's a Russ thing and whatnot, but I've seen people say like, oh man, it's just You try to remember what you was before, but like was really great that back even at the time. Like I said, it's a different environment, but maybe there's a rust thing. I just didn't think the match was okay. I didn't think it was all that, but it felt more focused on the referee and Becky more than it did AJ, and I just felt like the build into it wasn't really that much. So I look at it like that. But moving on from that, other than more commercials throughout this show, which I've seen people talk about that not enough video packages, but I guess if you got the VPN for Netflix, you've probably seen the video packages because I didn't really see anything till the end. But next, in my opinion, I thought was the best match out of the night was Seth Rollins versus Gunther. Yes, it really had no story going into this. It's kind of random. And obviously Braun Breaker couldn't make it at the time because he was hurt. So I wonder who Seth was really even gonna fight from the Vision because one, this group is cursed that everybody's basically gotten injured at this point. Who is Seth really gonna go face? And Gunther, they don't really got nothing for him right now unless they try to have him do his whole legend killer, career killer thing. And I probably talk about that. It kind of plays it more in the Sunday show because apparently he was the rumor he was going to face Mysterio, but honestly, I think Ray would probably have his son retire him more than I think Gunther. But me personally, I think this match was great. I think this is probably the best match out of the night. Seth, some say it was Game of Thrones he came out to, but him with the smoking jacket and like the black like contact eye thing, which he had no soul. This match was already going crazy as soon as it started, even kind of before the bell even rang, because Gunther hitting like the running shotgun drop kick and whatnot. And he's like immediately power bombing Seth in the ring and putting him down, even like trying like a buckle bomb. Because Gunther was like already chopping him. Seth was coming back then. He's come back with chops and he's in his own like the whole term, buckle bomb and stuff, trying to get the pedigree several times. Gunther trying to go for the sleeper hole, but Seth getting out of it. I know they kept hitting like the discus punch, which Gunther immediately came back with a big clothesline on him, which was pretty crazy. Rollins doing a Falcon Arrow from the top rope. Even going to the outside of the ring, which they tried to break the table, which it did not break. I don't know what these tables are made of, but we'll get to that table later on. Seth hitting like 3 suicide dives to the outside. Gunther hitting him with a power bomb on the apron, and then even trying to get him on like to the table on the outside, but it did not break. Seth hit the pedigree on the table, then onto Gunther. Then came back with a curb stomp, then running off the other. But then Braun Breaker returned and speared him, which he ended up throwing him back into the ring then as Seth looked at him. Gunther hit the sleeper on him and got the win. Over Seth. Seth didn't tap out, but he fell asleep. And then Breaker was at the stage then, and Seth looked on, and he ran all the way from the ramp to spear him, which looked really bad, by the way. It looked like it looked really bad. He didn't even really even touch him. Like it just looked really awkward. And then Breaker went up to Paul Heyman and hugged him. Then after that, even though the fans chanted one more time, like I said, I think this match was going. I think this is more wilder than they had with Jacob and Drew, and this wasn't even really a hardcore match. They just went at it. Like I figured they was gonna have a great match. It's not a lot of story going into it, and it's random, and they did what they had to do. But I think this was a great match that felt like a big Mania match on this card, and stuff. So I thought this was wild. I figured that Breaker was gonna return anyways, since they already said he was gonna be coming back. Gunther, I guess he kind of needed a win anyways for WrestleMania because in the past couple years he's either tapped out and lost. So he kind of needed to win, and they protected Seth right here due to Breaker getting involved, which will probably be Seth versus Breaker at Backlash. But I enjoyed this match. Me personally, I thought this was the best match out of the night. Who's next?
Oh my God. It just hit me when you said he tapped at WrestleMania. It just hit me. Gunther has retired John Cena, Goldberg, AJ Styles.
Hmm.
Jay Uso made Gunther tap. Does that mean that Jay Uso could have also retired John Cena, Goldberg, and AJ Styles? Anyway, I'm sorry. That just made me laugh audibly. That's crazy. Jay Uso beat Gunther. Um, all right. No, I love that match. I think that was probably the best match actually. I love the Jacob Fatu. match as well. But yeah, I really think that was probably the best match. No build, but I think the long term storytelling I think will matter more, especially if they do what I predict that they will do tonight for WrestleMania. Only time will tell. But I think the long term storytelling that they're telling between Gunther and Paul Heyman, I think matters more than the match that Gunther and Seth Rollins had. I think that was more so a means to an end. And it'll get there eventually. And I think it started with that match. Um, I think it was a great match. I think you put Seth Rollins and Gunther in a match together. It's like certain wrestlers where it's like you just put them in, you put them in a match with anybody and they'll make it work. And I think these are two of those wrestlers where it's definitely you could put Seth Rollins and Gunther in a match with a lot of wrestlers and they'll make it work. So you put them in a match together and of course they make it work. Um, I think Braun Breaker coming back was, predictable. I think we all kind of knew it was about to happen, but very fun nonetheless. Somebody who doesn't watch a lot of wrestling, who I was watching wrestling with yesterday, who popped in and came upstairs and they saw Braun Breaker just spare the fuck out of Seth Rollins, and they were like, "What the fuck? Oh my god!" Like I think again, if you don't know wrestling theory, I think it really was a cool little surprise. Like, goddamn, man, you forget how great Brian Breaker is. He just pops out of nowhere. Really needs to stay his thing. Whenever he doesn't like someone, like he could mid match come out of nowhere and just spare the hell out of you, and don't care if he disqualifies you or anybody else. Um, I think that was the match that we were all waiting for anyway. We weren't able to get it at WrestleMania because he had to fully recover and they already had to build before that. So, that's fine. Um, Long term storytelling, and this is my prediction I was telling Bryce yesterday. Gunther had to win this match so that he looks big. Um, I think, and I don't know if we're going to do predictions for tonight. If we do, then I'll save it. But for sure, I think Gunther had to win
I
last night.
I think I know what you're exactly talking about. I do know what you're talking about though.
Yeah, if
Which
we talk
I
predictions,
Yeah,
then
because
I get
yeah,
to it.
I'll say this like I think it would be. I personally look at the other way around, but I think I know what it's gonna look like given what happened. Even though I would
No,
do it the other way around, though.
no, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
But hey, you good?
Yep, that was it for me.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I knew this was going to be a good match, and I felt and I was watch when I was watching it. It was a good match. Don't get me wrong, but because it just came out of nowhere, and it's like I felt like it just was just like a throwaway match. I felt like if you didn't really have anything for these guys, you didn't have to really shoehorn these guys in WrestleMania if you really didn't have nothing for them. But I mean, it was a good match. Don't get me wrong. I knew they were going to tear down the house because it's Gunther and Seth Rollins, and so I kind of figured they were going to do it. But I, I don't know. I just didn't have the investment in it.
I think because it was made so late that what was Seth really gonna do if he wasn't gonna face Breaker and there was nobody really to face? Like, come on, was he gonna fight Logan Paul and Austin Theory again? We got Reed out, Breaker's out. He can't keep beating up Paul Heyman every week. And Gunther was just kind of like, what was he really gonna do other than, like I said earlier, this whole legend killer thing and whatnot. Unless he's gonna go back for the title, hell, maybe Heyman got him a title shot too. But that's like one prediction and all that and stuff. But like I said, it was a last minute thing. I figured the match was gonna be good and what happened here, but like I said, it was last minute. There was no story to this. It was like what history is from this. It's happening because it's happening. They had to get Seth and Gunther on the card somehow.
Yeah, I understand that. Don't get me wrong. I do understand that they felt like they needed to get them on the card somehow. But I just felt like it wasn't like it wasn't dire for them to be on the card. I just felt like if you didn't have a WrestleMania without Gunther or Seth, it wasn't gonna be the end of the world, and then they could have just gone ahead and just have it without them. But this was a good match. And don't get me wrong, they had a good match. I would have been like, oh damn, all right, that this it was a reason why they should have been on this card. Cause look how they just tore down the house with this match.
No, that's true. So, like I said, it really didn't need to be, but I don't know. It's like they were just adding matches at the last second, anyways, and I guess they just wanted to get this so Breaker could return. But it is what it is. It was just so last minute at the time, so that's how I look at it. But I still think it was a great match though in general. Um, but I guess moving on then. They did bring out the WWE Hall of Famers for the stage real quick. Dennis Rodman, Demolition, um, Bad News Brown family, Hogan and Andre's family, Sid's family, AJ Styles, who got his own entrance and his music played, which I'm still under kind of the thing he may come back, maybe. I don't know. I still think it was kind of premature they put him in the Hall of Fame, but he still deserves it. And Stephanie McMahon. Is anybody surprised to see Sid's family out there, given how Sid's son had already was disappointed of how they put his dad in, which I do agree with him because I don't think Sid should really be in the Legacy Hall of Fame. They only played like 30 seconds apparently at the Hall of Fame, like just a quick video, and then like showed his family, which you couldn't barely see him because of the lighting. But I think Sid should have deserved his own induction. Sid was a name. He was a main event guy. He's a former world champion. He was a pretty big deal. So I don't think he should have just been in the legacy part of the Hall of Fame because his son went off. He did go off on WWE if you read his statement.
Oh no, I do agree that he should have been. It should not been no legacy Hall of Fame for Sid. It should have been a Hall of Fame spot for Sid, man, because Sid a was a big name for them at that time. And for WCW, since they got the rights to WCW, he was a big name for them and the WCW. So I don't know what I kind of feel his son because his son I think his son looking at it like, wow, y'all kind of just dismiss my pops like that, which he was a big name for y'all, and he was a draw for y'all. Like, come on, man, like that. Yeah, I with his son on that one, man.
I think if you were a professional wrestler of any kind, like a serious professional wrestler, you shouldn't be put in the same breath as Dennis Rodman or Drew Carey.
Oh
Or,
man. Oh, I wish you on that one. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
oh no, no, it's cool, it's cool. No, but you're right. I mean, that's the correct reaction because like you were a professional wrestler. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like you know who should be in the Legacy Hall of Fame? Goddamn. Uh, Oh, well, he already in there, motherfucking Drew Carey. You know what I mean? Like these motherfuckers are the ones who are legacy as far as like not legacy in the sense or like the celebrity Hall of Fame, Snoop Dogg. You know what I mean? I think Legacy Hall of Fame, yeah. I think Sid was better than that. He wasn't like, you know, just some regular guy. I think he was an actual for real wrestler that y'all drew from, that y'all considered a star at a time, that y'all considered a superstar at a time, that y'all were willing to do anything to sign during a certain time. Um, so don't forget that and don't downplay the family and things like that. So I agree with what y'all said on that. I don't have too many thoughts on the Hall of Fame. Shout out Dennis Rodman, Chicago forever. Always gonna love when Dennis Rodman do anything. That nigga's just crazy.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I
love
just
Dennis,
yeah, Dennis
but
Dennis is great.
but very much so. I think. Yeah, and I also love, and I don't know how long they've been doing this because I don't really pay attention to the Hall of Fame like that for real. I haven't for a long time, but I do love that they are creating tiers because it was getting to a point where it's like, all right, this is way too many celebrities going into the Wrestling Hall of Fame. That's like goddamn, that's like Drake going into the NBA Hall of Fame for having fucking like that's like Spike Lee going into the NBA Hall of Fame because that nigga been floor side at the Knicks games all his fucking life. I mean, yeah, that should be you should get some love for that, but you shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame for the NBA for that, if that makes sense. So like, I like that
Right.
they the
Right.
tiers for those people.
And I'll just say this: like, I do agree with most everything what Sid's son said. Like, I don't think Sid should have been a legacy. He's a main event guy. I think he should have had his own induction. Hell, you could have had his family go out there and make a speech for him, or I don't know who was. I didn't know. I didn't watch Hall of Fame, so I didn't really know who was inducting who. I saw a couple clips here, in there. I know at least AJ was smart enough to keep it short, so it didn't go on all night. But no, like I think Sid should have got his own because he even criticized like they didn't even have merch for his dad and but they had more merch for like Dennis Rodman and when you really think about it, Dennis Rodman only did anything wrestling related was in WCW and being in NWO and don't get me wrong, it was a really big thing at the time because the Bulls was the shit and wrestling was at an all time high and you're out there with the NWO and Hogan Bischoff and them and coming out the United Center and Voodoo Child, and he did matches. So it was a big deal, but it's like once again, I was only WCW at the time. It really wasn't in WWE, but like I said, I still like Dennis Rodman. But no, I agree with everything Sid's son even said, and I even said this. I know Steven's not here, but he even said this to me. It's like nah, Sid shouldn't be in the Legacy Hall of Fame. It's like everybody usually say. That's why you can't take the Hall of Fame seriously sometime with WWE. It's like you kind of want to sometime, but it's been so many times. A lot of people say it's not a real Hall of Fame, or they just kind of throw anybody, or just like some of the names. You kind of wonder what did they really do and stuff. Even people kind of question with Stephanie being the headliner and stuff. I get it. And everything, but some people say, what did she really do with matches? Like, I get why she was in it, given her tenure in the company and stuff. But people have always questioned the Hall of Fame, no. But no, I agree with Sid's son, no.
Yeah, and I think Stephanie deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Again, I think not even more so than professional wrestling. I think if you're just in the business and you've created a name for yourself in the business, there should be some consideration. And I think Stephanie McMahon has created a name for herself. Maybe not so much as a professional wrestler, but very much so. I remember those, again, I remember being a kid and seeing her marry Triple H. I think that was a very pivotal part of my childhood. Seeing that dude marry the boss's daughter, I think that was the craziest shit in the world. I remember her tenure as the GM for SmackDown and being like, damn, Stephanie, I didn't know you was that fine. Wait a minute. Um, I remember a lot of like she's had her moments, the authority moments even, where, maybe not her wrestling, but her being a part of very major moments in WWE and the growth of WWE. I think for sure. I think what she did, again, even though not everything we agree with, I even think what she did as far as just her mark that she left as an executive in WWE as well, kind of progressing the Divas division into the women's division again, in a sense, and taking that step because there was a point where I stopped even giving a fuck about women's wrestling. And not saying she brought it back, but she did create a pathway for women's wrestlers, as well. So I give her that. I give her that. It's more than just her last name.
No, like Stephanie did a lot in this company, though. I can't say she did nothing. Like she was part of a lot of pivotal moments within the WWE, so she definitely done a lot. Because I saw a lot of people say like AJ should be like the headliner, but I'm like they put AJ in so fast and kind of on a like as soon as he done like I said he deserves it obviously, but it was just like the way it was done was just so it just kind of I don't know, it was just so fast and it felt premature to me. I don't know why. It just really still felt premature, and that's why I kind of said earlier I'm still kind of on the verge. He may come back. Like I said, I thought he was gonna do one more match in TNA or something at least.
Yeah, I don't think. I think if that nigga ends his career in WWE, respectfully, I think it's a disservice. If he doesn't come back to do something with TNA, one last match, Slammiversary, something, where it's just like his official last match, drop the boots, drop the gloves, drop everything in the middle of the ring. I'm gonna feel some way. I love WWE. Maybe there's like a no match clause or some shit that he got to wait to, and that we don't know about or some shit like that contractually.
Well, to answer
But
that question real quick, remember his contract was already up at that time of the
true.
last WWE match, and that's why I was like, he really about to end this in Saudi of all places? Like,
No, man.
come
I
on
think
now.
there's something. I think there's
That,
something more
that's why I feel like
to it.
Gunther was going to win. 'Cause like, well, his contract is up, so
I just think. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was just saying because his contract was up.
I just think it was a WWE retirement. That's the way I looked at it, the Saudi Arabia joint. I always looked at it, and that's why I felt like he's gonna come back and do something TNA wise. I just thought like that was his last WWE match.
Yeah, that's what I felt at the time too. Because I was like,
And
okay, he's
then,
just done with
once he's
WWE.
done with WWE, he'll do something.
No, I agree. I agree. I just thought he was just done with WWE. That's what I was really on the verge thinking, and that's why I don't want to throw that idea out of the window all the way yet for some reason. So I don't know. I just felt premature. Like he still deserves it though, but it just kind of like I said, we knew his contract was up, and it just happened so fast. So that's how I feel about it. Um, but next though, we move on to the Women's World Championship on the line. Stephanie Vaquer versus Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan came out, which if anybody's seen her new music video, I don't know who thought this was good and greenlit it this, that they even had a whole musical performance with her with choreography and stuff. Some think that she's trying to be like Britney Spears out there. Because I don't know who thought this was a great idea. I'm really still wondering that. Like, the girl can't sing. I'm like, you go to Coachella one time and now all of a sudden you a music artist. Okay, doesn't make sense. But yeah, she had a whole music video entrance basically. I'm surprised they played that whole thing on Raw. Stephanie Vaquer, which she had like some gear and I don't know, there's like a lot of what was it like confetti like petals coming from the top. I think that was raining and stuff. So you saw a lot of that throughout the match. I'm gonna be honest about this match. I don't got much to say. It was once again, it was relatively short. This feud, I can't. This feud has very been non-existent to me. It really has. Ever since Liv won the Rumble, I feel like we barely seen both of these women. Um, I feel like a lot of his backstage promos, the most notable thing out of this whole thing was literally like a week or two ago when Stephanie pushed Liv into Rox's head and damn near gave both of them a concussion. If you seen the knot on their head and whatnot, which was very brutal to see, because I'm like, that's damn near a concussion, especially this close to WrestleMania and whatnot. But that was like the most notable thing. I don't like I said, I don't have much to say about it. Like the match happened, Steffi's doing the devil's kiss thing and all that. Liv hits her finisher. Of course, it's gonna be Judgment Day distractions and whatnot, because Raquel came out and distracted. Rox came and distracted. That was funny. Some people said like, try to tell me like, see the cheeks and all that. I'm like, no, I didn't, but probably have to go back. But um, no, I don't have much to say about this. They got involved. Stephanie did like a big dive to the Judgment Day members to the outside of it, and she did like she got back in the ring and then Liv hit like a code breaker and then hit her Oblivion finish. Like the match was like 9 minutes, I believe, and then Dominic and them came out and celebrated. All the Judgment Day stood tall together, and Liv won the match. I don't really got a lot to say. It's like this could have been on Raw. Now that I think about it, but I don't know. Like I figured Liv was gonna win anyways, but this feud has been very non-existent.
Yeah, I ain't got much to say about this match either. It was a match, very much so. Um, it was a nice little in between match, I guess. So that way it just wasn't, women's match, women's match, women's match, all middle card, and then end with the last two guys matches. Kind of broke up that a little bit, or it was a nice little breakup between Seth Rollins and Gunther, and then you get one more women's match before the actual main event. That was cool. But the match itself was like, all right. I did not hear Liv Morgan's music video before this. I was
Hey, be
wondering what
glad you did it.
no, seriously, I was like, what's going on? Like, is she doing like a whole routine? Is this like a new entrance? Like, I was trying to figure out what was going on. Very much so. It gave 2000 like three MTV Music Video Awards
Man,
vibes.
tell me about it. Tell
Um,
me about it. I thought the same thing, bro. My bad. Oh, I'm
no,
sorry,
for real,
bro.
specifically like the 2003 one.
Like the
But
choreography wasn't even all that.
man, it was yeah, man. It shit felt like I was watching Mean Girls or something. But
Oh shit.
it did. Like I don't know if you remember like the Christmas,
Oh
like
yeah, yeah,
if
yeah.
you ever seen Mean Girls, you know the Christmas presentation. That's what it felt like. But definitely, I was just like, all right, cool. You know, it's WrestleMania. You got everybody want to do their special interests. Also something that I didn't get a chance to say before in the Seth Rollins joint. Second best entrance of the night, and damn near would have been first if it weren't for Cody Rhodes' entrance. But yeah, that nigga entrance, the black eye, that shit was hard.
That was
But
cool.
definitely, I was more entertained about the entrance for real than I was the match. I thought the match was cool. Of course, Judgment Day shenanigans at the end, which is something that I thought was gonna happen anyway.
Killed this group.
Um, so like, yeah, it's whatever. It was definitely nothing that I'm like.
I no lie. Like this was the match that I was like, I don't know. This was the match that I paid a little bit more attention to for some of those reasons. Like I guess because of the chaos with the Judgment Day came out, especially when they came out, I kind of woke up a little bit, like, oh yeah, whoa, what, I forgot about these girls, I really did. I forgot about Roxy, I forgot about Raquel, for a while, But outside of that, I said it to my cousin last night when we were watching it, and I was like, you Liv character is so good that it kind of make you forget that she kind of mediocre in the ring, And I'm getting I say it kind of as as being nice because she really not. I don't know. I don't think Liv is that in the ring. Her character is good, but I never really said I could wait to watch the Liv match. I don't know. But it was all right for the most part. It was okay. It's just I was paying attention to it a little bit more than I paid attention to a lot of matches last night.
I gotcha. I just felt like it happened and like Liv won. I wasn't surprised. I know some people thought like maybe Raquel probably would have turned because it was teasing that, or maybe Rock's turns because remember Finn brought her into the group, so maybe she take Finn's side. But no, it's like the match happened and I just thought it was relatively short and it was kind of it, it is what it is really. Like I said, the whole entrance thing, music video is just. I just think it was bad. I don't like I said, like I don't know who greenlit this or thought it was good, and I feel like the only people that really gonna like this video is like if you're already a fan of Liv Morgan or you're like one of her gooners, basically. So yeah, but yeah, thoughts on that?
Oh no, yeah, that was the end of my thoughts regarding that match for sure.
But nah, like I said, it was what it was. Like I don't know, like I don't know if it could have used more time. I'm not sure, but it's like it is what it is. Like it just kind of happened and it happened. So that's kind of it. Know what I mean, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean it wasn't really it wasn't nothing like Gerard said. It wasn't nothing to write home about.
Yeah, so it just happened. So yeah. But moving on now, we go back to John Cena. Obviously him in his 12-piece suit, who basically came out to tell us the attendance, which I figured he was there to do. What do you believe the attendance and that, especially with these ticket sales? But he put over the attendance for Vegas, and then there was Pyro, and then Bianca Belair came out, and a lot of people had a lot, obviously, thoughts on this, which I did like. I was like, okay, Bianca's back. But given what I saw, I was like, something's about to happen here. Because Bianca Belair has been gone for basically a year at this point due to a broken finger, which even I had to kind of sit there like, did her finger really get messed up that bad? But when you really think about your fingers, it does control a lot of your body within the nerve. She literally just got surgery on it, like, what, a couple months ago and whatnot, if I'm not mistaken. And honestly, like, okay, she's here on a Saturday show. And then a lot of people kind of noticed that she doesn't have a long braid like usual and whatnot. And she was already getting emotional. And it was two things anybody thought of this. Either A, she's pregnant, or B, she was going to have to retire or whatnot. Because if she was really coming back, I expect her to probably be part of the whole Jade Rhea thing tomorrow, Sunday, or she'd be showing up a Raw on SmackDown this week to make the big return. Because even I said they've been needed her back, but she basically like took off like the jacket of her blue dress and said she is pregnant and whatnot. And her and Cena hugged and whatnot. And it was a nice moment for us. Like, congratulations both her and Montez. I will say it is kind of crazy that you've been gone for a year basically to tell us you coming back and not gonna be here for the next 8 to 9 months. And I'm gonna be, even I was like, all right, get to the main event. Let's go. Let's get to the main event. Because even I was like, I don't know if this needed to be on WrestleMania. It's a nice moment for her, but did this really need to be on WrestleMania? Like, she low-key could announce this on Instagram or something. So it is what it is here. I even saw some people say they probably could have put more time into that and put it back in the damn women's title match, because some say this segment went longer than the actual match beforehand. So, like I said, it is what it is, but it's like, it is kind of crazy. Like, we ain't seen it in a year, which you probably won't see it until another year now. So,
I
yeah.
mean, the finger is not healed though.
But
She
her
just
finger's
got
not
into
healed in
surgery.
general.
Yeah, so
The
I don't know
surgery
how
happened
long
like,
you.
sorry, not I mean cut you off, but the surgery just happened like, what, 2 months ago, a month or two ago, and they said she
So how long?
apparently, huh? Go ahead.
I said how. So how long she was gonna be still on the show, even after surgery?
I thought she would have gotten the surgery. Maybe they thought her finger was gonna heal on her own a while ago, but it was like, it'd been a while. I'm like, damn, she finally just got the surgery. Like, I guess they didn't have any other choice, because I guess it just wasn't really healing on its own. It just wasn't. I know some people gonna question, like, she got, I don't know how long she's been pregnant, okay? It probably could have been not that long ago. Some say it probably would have been happened given how long she been out and whatnot. But these things just happen. You never know. But like you said, the finger and all that. Like I said, if she came out tomorrow, well, technically today, Sunday, and then hit the ring and done something, or showed up on Raw and SmackDown, then maybe, okay, she good to go. But I was like, she literally just had the surgery. So what was really gonna happen? So like I said, it is what it is, but I don't know if this really needed to be on WrestleMania. But like I said, congrats to her and Montez though. It just, I was like, just get to the main event at that point. It is what it is.
Um,
Next.
I appreciated seeing it. It could have been a post for sure. But I'm glad it was on WrestleMania just because I was just happy to see Bianca. Um, it was definitely one of those things where it'll definitely reign very well in the vignette later. So I appreciate being in WrestleMania. Um, it sucks that I won't see her for another year or probably longer. Because you know how that shit go, man. You gotta have a whole baby, get yourself back in shape, get yourself back in ring um, shape. That takes forever. You probably ain't gonna see her until shit SummerSlam next year.
Some
Um,
say she already had abs out there while being pregnant.
I
She
mean,
right. She did still have
she's
abs. I
look
swear she
at
did.
she Bianca Belair. She yeah,
Oh man.
of course she's gonna have abs while pregnant. Um, because Tiana Taylor did the same thing. Her bounce back is going to be crazy because
Yeah,
definitely there's a workout regimen in which you can work out while pregnant, and once you have that baby, the abs are still there, right back. So I could see her being like that kind of pregnant lady where it's like, nigga, yeah, I'm pregnant, but as soon as that baby is out, nigga, it's like you damn near ready to go back in. So hopefully she does, is ready to get back, but I know how motherhood can probably be for especially a new mom. She probably gonna want to spend some time being a mom. So that's why I'm like, nigga, you probably ain't gonna see her until SummerSlam next year.
Yeah.
Um, so, just prepare for that. It sucks. That was definitely like I had two reactions. It was like, let's go. You know what I mean? Congratulations, y'all. But it was also Montez, you motherfucker. Y'all couldn't have waited just a
Because
little bit longer.
I
But
was no, go ahead.
oh no, 'cause I was excited to see Bianca, but very much so. What it was better than it was better than watching John Cena announce 50,000 people like as they always do. I mean, it was no different.
Yeah, I was just like kind of like under the impression at first, like it's like say like you excited to see it come out. I think I said to Steven too, like oh shit, Bianca's back. And then I was like, you know what? Never mind. She just came back, tell her she gonna be gone again. And I was like, all right, because honestly, I felt like they needed her back. Like I really did, especially how the division is going on SmackDown. And we talked about this earlier. I feel like they really needed her back. I kind of felt like on the impression that the Bianca, you know, rematch would have finally happened. And listen, don't get me started on Bianca's booking from the previous year because I don't think it was really good, especially going into the match she had last year for obvious reasons, and there was a lot of reasons for that, especially how they've been booking her lately, given she was top dog for so long. And I thought things just changed up then. But yeah, I thought before for sure, like I'm like, good, they really needed her back. But then I was kind of like, oh, you come back to tell us you gone for another 8 months.
It's
Okay,
gonna be longer than that, but yeah.
say again.
I was gonna say yeah, it's gonna be longer than that, but
Well,
yeah,
8 to 9, basically another year. So I was like, you
yeah.
come back to tell us you're gonna be gone for another year. I'm like, okay. I was like, congratulations and all that, but I'm like, get to the main event. Let's go. We padding time now. Let's go. Wrap it up. Like it is what it is. So yeah, we just gonna have to wait and everything. But I really thought they kind of needed her back, though, for real.
I I just feel like that whole announcement with the how many WrestleMania I mean the WrestleMania attendance and everything. I just feel like that's just so necessary sometimes. My goodness, I don't give a damn how many people that was in your building. It's like I know the regular viewer like me and you is not thinking like how many people was in that building. I wonder how many. Like nobody gives a damn. Like seriously.
They got to eat
And
up
it's,
time. They
I
got
know, but my goodness, that was it's just so unnecessary. Like all the time they do it. And they gonna do the combined tonight. And combined, it was 100 and something thousand people. Nobody cares.
shit took. I don't even think this show was sold out. I don't know. I don't think they ever said the show was sold out in that
I don't think
Well, of
so
course, it's
either.
not sold out.
Nah, nah, not.
because they had a hard time selling this. A really hard time. But hey, blame the ticket prices. It's too damn high. But
And
now we
blame the venue too, man, because you back in Las Vegas. Nobody like, man, nobody really likes to go. And like, to be honest with you, it Las Vegas been losing its luster lately. And it ain't like a lot of people been like clamoring to go to Las Vegas. To be honest with you, and to do it again, come on now, man.
no, I don't think they should have went back, but they said they made so much money the previous year they went back. But it's obviously not working like it did the last year. And it could be a lot of things to blame from this. And we kind of get towards that when we get to the end, but just the high ticket prices, the build and booking of the show lately, you got to count that too. It's a lot
Yeah,
of reasons to why this I like I said, I don't think it's been a lot of hype going into Mania and all that. I don't think it has other than a few matches, and it looks like they saved some of the bigger ones for today. But I don't think it's the build was all that. It's a lot of reasons just to why the hype isn't there. Like I said, booking price. It's multiple reasons. We'll get to that towards the end, but I think it's that. But I didn't think they need to go to Vegas again. And listen, I talked about New Orleans before, and I even said like, damn, they getting another one. I thought they would go somewhere different. But I felt kind of bad for them because it's like you told them it was going there, then you take it away from them just to give them a consolation prize of getting money in the bank. But hey, we gotta go to Saudi though the next year. So I don't know. It's a lot of reasons, but I don't think this show is sold out though. But let's get to the main event. The main event, by God, Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. A story that should have been so easy to tell and probably would have been a slam dunk or a layup, but it went into a whole different other direction. Cause one, where do I begin with this? Do I begin with Randy Orton just turning heel? Even though the fans are still gonna cheer him. Fans ain't been feeling Cody for a while though, anyways. And again, fans was against Cody because they wanted Drew as the champion also. They've been against Cody for a good minute. And the story has gone all over the place. Instead of telling a history, a damn near 20-year history of both Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes, a huge legacy, even going with their fathers, their family, being wrestling legacies and whatnot. For some reason, the next Sylvester Stallone, apparently, Pat McAfee gets involved because we seen Randy Orton on the phone talking to somebody. And a lot of people thought it would have been a whole bunch of like names. People thought it was going to be The Rock. Some thought Vince McMahon. Some thought even Ted DiBiase Jr. there since he just beat the case. What his dad, Bob Orton. It was a lot of other reasons. Some say Triple H. Some say Stephanie. Or he could have just been talking to himself the whole time because the voices are in his head. For some reason, we bring back Pat McAfee into this. And him when he came out there and slowly kicked Cody Rhodes in the nuts. I don't know where this feud is gone. This has gone into like a work shoot Vince Russo style of booking of like, hey, the reason why the ticket we're not selling is because of Cody Rhodes. That's why nobody's like going to WrestleMania. That's why the show sucks. That's why the ratings are down. Like we gotta like blame Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton is here to save the wrestling business and whatnot and just like a lot of inside shots, a lot of
You forgetting one thing. You
what am I
forgetting one
forgetting?
thing.
Tell me, please.
You nah, you were go he was gonna bring back the attitude era with the ruthless aggression Randy Orton.
Which Randy
Remember?
Orton wasn't
Look,
even in the
you
Attitude
know
Era.
what? Hold on, no.
Go
We
ahead,
not about
please.
to disrespect Randy Orton like this.
No. That
I
no
keep
no no no.
no. I got to get this off my chest because I'm tired of people talking about Randy Orton winning in Attitude Era. Did we not forget when Randy Orton won the undisputed WWE Championship? Did we not forget when he had that main event match versus Stone Cold Steve Austin in
He was
'97?
there.
Oh my God, I
Did
didn't
we not
know.
forget? Did we not forget when that man came out of nowhere and had the first Hell in a Cell match versus the Undertaker? Huh? Did we not forget about the
I think I
time?
did. I think I man. Thank you for reminding me, man. I
Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't
look,
know
he
that.
was all he was all over that.
He was there, man. He was in the Attitude Era. I'm like, man, he didn't even debut yet, but man, I sure as hell remember that match he had against The Rock out there,
That nigga
WrestleMania
was 12.
17. Man,
right.
that's a real prodigy. That's a real prodigy right there. But
I want to ask the question before we go into this match, though,
yes,
and I think we were talking about this before, Bryce, a couple of weeks ago, how how we get tired of people invoking the attitude era, like it's like we got to keep on bringing back 30 years ago as this. Oh man, this was the best it ever was, and it could never be back to this again. And it's everybody else's fault that it's not as good as the Attitude Era. It's like they people forget a little bit that yeah, it took the talent to get there, and it took a few lightning in the bottles to happen for the Attitude Era to be as good as it was. And I think it's kind of unfair to the talent of today that you were like, man, y'all could never be as good as the Attitude Era. And this is the reason why. It's like, man, I think that's kind of a little too unfair. What y'all think to that?
I completely agree. Because here's the issue with people who always say like revisionist things like the Attitude Era, people were booking things better. It wasn't that they were booking things better, it was that shit was so bad that they had to literally pivot what they were doing. We forget everything that happened before the Attitude Era. Vince McMahon literally screwing over Bret Hart, which created the Vince McMahon character, which in turn created the Stone Cold Steve Austin character for that to even be a thing. So it's like, and that only happened because WWE was so bad at selling tickets that they were getting beat up by WCW, who were doing things way better. So they took that same premise and was like, we're gonna do the same thing. So it was like you said, it took things getting so bad that they had to make a pivot. And people like to make it seem like WWE all of a sudden were like, let's just be badass and do all the things that we always wanted to do. No, them niggas had to make a business decision because Vince McMahon was gonna fuck around and kill the business with his decision making, but he found a way to pivot.
That's true. So I do agree. Like, you can't just really compare everything to the Attitude Era and whatnot. And they said, oh, maybe they need to, even with the ruthless aggression, you can't do that all the way. I know a lot of people want to say it's the ruthless depression era nowadays, but I think we got to stop comparing to it. And I get it, wrestling was at an all-time high, especially within the Attitude Era and whatnot. I just think it's kind of crazy. Like, see, it was great. What was this? What Pat McAfee is saying and all that. That's why everything is so bad because it's the how am I saying this? It's Cody Rhodes' fault. Let's blame the face of the company apparently because of why the tickets are so high and why the show is not really all that. And it's like, okay, shouldn't we be blaming TKO and Triple H then if we're going to talk about like with prices and booking and whatnot? But, nowadays I feel like nobody doesn't want to blame Triple H for some reason and whatnot. And we got to blame the creative team. I'm like, well, Triple H is the head of creative. He makes the decisions. Road Dogg's not there anymore. We were blaming him, but he's not even there. So I'm like, you got to, like, we talk about the team who makes the final decisions at the end of the day. And even just looking at this feud too, we've had to bring Jelly Roll into this. Like, this guy's getting a lot of TV time. They got him bugging up at Nick Aldis. They're like, hey, man, I don't even work here, man. Like, what you trying? He said, man, you don't belong here, Pat. You don't belong here either, man.
Bruh.
Okay? Like, what is you talking about? And here's the thing. Like, I believe that Jelly Roll does take this seriously. I've heard a lot of stories and stuff. But why do we have both of these guys in the main event of WrestleMania, though? That's the thing, which I feel like is going to be some tag match at Backlash now with all four of these guys. But
Mm-mm.
no, this story has gone all over the place. It hasn't made a lot of sense. It's been a lot of inside work shoot promos throughout most of this entire feud, which you had something going good to begin with, but no, but like I said, TKO wanted Pat, the apparently the next Sylvester Stallone, which is a crazy comparison. I'm like, how is this guy even compared to Rocky? Okay, that doesn't make any type of sense. And this match, though, let's get to the match, shall we? One thing I did like, though, I know they had Pat introduce Randy and just do the whole all these snakes slithering around to do his entrance. Cody, I enjoyed Cody's entrance. I really did. Showing a history of Cody Rhodes from when he first like debuted in his match with Orton going against him, from the dashing and undashing Cody Rhodes to his gear for when he came back to the WWE for WrestleMania a few years ago and whatnot, showing his title history and all that. Even like the gold mask and all that stuff. I thought that was a cool entrance. Okay, I thought that was great. But one thing, and he's just going out there, and his family is out there, and Nick Khan and all that stuff. But as soon as this match even began, no, like Pat takes the mic, and he's doing the intro for Randy Orton. And then next thing you know, they start jumping Cody Rhodes then and whatnot. And Cody fights them off, puts Pat down with a crossroads then, and then goes to the announce table. Somehow magically, Jelly Roll appeared. And like putting his thumbs up, and he does an elbow drop. And try to let you take this one in a second. You said the table exploded when Jelly Roll just did a
Bro.
simple elbow drop somehow.
Blew the
And
fuck
that
up,
table was hard to break early in the night. So take
bro.
this one for a second.
Bro, all right. Let me. All right, I'm gonna get on the pedestal for 1 second. Or what do you call it, the soapbox for 1 second. Why are celebrities in the main event now? This again, I said this earlier. I'm all for the Jelly Roll and the Pat McAfee and the IShowSpeeds and the Logan Pauls. I'm all here for all of them niggas. Early in the fucking show, first match, knock it out, get the celebrities out the way. Um, Jelly Roll, why the fuck are you there? Why are you bugging up at Nick Aldis talking about? Well, I don't work here. Exactly, nigga. Why are you here? You shouldn't even be here, nigga. You used to be a gangster rapper, nigga. Go do some gangster shit if you really got beef with Pat McAfee, nigga. Like, go somewhere outside of wrestling and do what you got to do. If you're that mad at Pat McAfee, please just don't be in the main event of WrestleMania. Pat McAfee, why are you here? I don't want to see you. The story already tells itself. And I'm not mad at Triple H. I'm mad at TKO. Now you could be mad at Triple H for not, standing on 10 toes and being like, nigga, we not gonna do this. You could, but let's be real. TKO seems like the type of company. If you don't do it, they'll hire someone who will.
Mm-hmm.
And all you're gonna see is breaking news. Triple H, let go from TKO, and now this nigga about to be a writer for fucking AEW or some shit. Um, and I can hella see that happening. I can hella see like them just being like, all right, cool. Who else wants this job? Who's gonna say yes? Somebody will take that job.
John.
And, you know what I mean? Seriously. And somebody's gonna take the motherfucking job, and then all of a sudden it's gonna be them being the head of creative. And that's just what it is. So he had to do it. His hands are tied behind his back. It's probably the same reason Road Dogg left. Because he's probably getting tired of people being like, Road Dogg, you booking all of this shit horribly. And it's like, nigga, it's not me. I'm gonna step away so y'all can see it's not me. And the moment he steps away, Pat McAfee is in the main event. Maybe this nigga was tired of fighting. Maybe Road Dogg was just tired of fighting and he left. And he was just like, I'm tired of trying to tell these niggas what to do. I'll let these dudes blow their own shit up. And if Triple H want to stay there, he my brother, but he can stay there if he want to. Maybe that's the reason. You know what I mean? Like we don't know what's going on. All I know is I'm not gonna blame Road Dogg. I'm not gonna blame Triple H. I'm only looking at TKO for these decisions because why the fuck else? Like again, same thing with Cody Rhodes the year before. I don't think this was a Triple H decision. Now, maybe I don't watch Unreal like that, so maybe there is a clip where he's like, "Let's bring in Travis Scott at the fucking main event." If that is the case, then I'm sorry. But again, more celebrity shenanigans for a Cody Rhodes match. I don't know what TKO has against Cody Rhodes. I don't know if this is some kind of way that they can get back at the nigga for shitting on WWE for so long and then coming back to WWE and getting hella love. But even the year before that, he was supposed to have a main event, and he almost didn't have a main event because The Rock came out of no goddamn where. So it's just like, just know if Cody Rhodes is main eventing a WrestleMania, there's going to be some celebrity shenanigans, some bullshit, because he's going to allow it to happen. Um, Also, with the exploding table, I think they put explosives in that bitch. I think they put something in it because there's no way that weak ass jelly roll elbow drop is the shit that exploded the whole fucking table. Again, IShowSpeed jumped from the top turnbuckle, not even the top rope. That nigga jumped from the top turnbuckle onto Logan Paul from that bitch. They broke it, built it back together. Um, I think Gunther put that nigga, tried to put fucking Seth Rollins through it. Couldn't do it. Seth Rollins tried to put Gunther through that motherfucker. Couldn't do it. So it was sturdy, but you mean to tell me that little ass jelly roll elbow drop is the thing that made that whole motherfucker explode? I'm talking about wood chips everywhere, nigga. Like, nah, they put something in it to make it look like that. And that's what I mean. Y'all don't need to make these dudes look like motherfuckers who can break announce tables into smithereens. Like, this dude is a fucking country rapper. I don't believe it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So that's it for me, man.
true. And just to kind of go continue the match, because I guess the story they were really telling, and I don't know how true the story is. Somebody said Orton was apparently hurt already, but it looked like they were telling the story of him selling his back a lot throughout the entire match against Cody Rhodes, because you could see him clutch onto his back. Like he's still going out there, but it's like, he's holding his back several times, and Cody's trying to focus on the back end stuff. And like I said, I didn't think the match was bad, and they were kind of going back and forth, dumping each other onto the announce table and stuff. Obviously, the fans were on Orton's side, so they weren't really going to turn on him no matter what. They were booing at Cody Rhodes. At one point, I know Cody knocked Orton, I guess, into the turnbuckle, like the steel turnbuckle on the outside, which Orton did bleed in. There was blood there, and Orton even like tried to wipe himself out with a towel to get the blood off. But like, he tried to go for the RKO, and Cody countered it. And even both did each other's finishers, because Cody did the RKO, and Orton did a crossroads and whatnot. And even when Cody was like, firing up and stuff, the people turning on him. And they go back and trade punches back and forth. And I guess at one point, because the blood was in Orton's eyes, he just takes out the referee with an RKO then. And then next thing Cody, he ends up kicking Orton in the nuts, and then like hits the finisher on him and whatnot, but there's no ref then. So then Pat McAfee comes down, which it looks like they stopped booing him. And let's remember, they carried this guy on a stretcher, but he just came out of neck brace and run into the ring. And they were cheering for him, which I thought this was the slowest count almost, which it was 2. He tried to count for Orton. And then randomly, Orton just drops Pat with an RKO in and just turns on him all of a sudden. And, Cody just end up hitting a crossroads on the Orton, and Cody retained. And I was like, what is this in a way? What just happened? And then they try to say, well, Cody, the student became the teacher of him having the killer instinct. But then Orton immediately took the belt from Cody and hit him with it, and then Punk kicked him in the head then, and just stood over, ending the show. Obviously, this feud is going to continue. And listen, I didn't watch the post show, but now I kind of find it crazy. Because let's remember, I forgot one other thing. Cody was very bleeding heavily through this match, too. Apparently, like, his eyelid got split somehow, because they show photos in the back of them trying to, like, clean him up. I don't know what happened, but he was bleeding heavily. But one crazy thing I got to say was that, he got kicked in the head, right, and taken out. And then, like, he was walking up the ramp in the post show. Nobody helped him. No stretcher. No type of medical team. He walked out on his own 2 feet, almost like a lot of people say he wasn't even selling it. He just walked up like just whatever and whatnot. Because even I saw some people kind of point out that even with Cody, even with Orton, him winning, when the people booed, some people thought he was mouthing, I know, because of I feel like this whole thing ended up turning to almost into a mess damn near, and a lot of people really thought Orton should have won. Because like I said earlier, people been kind of against Cody for a minute now, it looks like, okay? Even been as the champion, just from the Drew stuff, even last year with Cena and whatnot. It's almost like we've seen the boos at Cody, and it's like kind of become more and more, and they're cheering anybody over Cody now. And I've seen this debate, because how can I say this? I've seen this debate, so almost we have to start having a real conversation. Do we need to start questioning now of putting world championships on mid-card talent? Because that's what it looks like what's going around, what they seeing in Cody. Because a lot of questions. This is a very questionable main event, in my opinion, but somebody take the tag on this one.
Bruh, and all right, this is my last time jumping in, but again, I don't look at Cody Rhodes as the issue, bro. It's like,
I never did either.
It's like if for instance, if I have a golden nugget, like a golden nugget, like a nugget of gold, pure, and I put it deep, 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 deep in a pile of shit, and I tell people, what do you see? People gonna be like, a pile of shit. But I'm like, but there's a nugget and a gold in the middle of it. Cody Rhodes is a nugget of gold in a pile of shit promoting. That happens every year around WrestleMania, and then fans look at Cody Rhodes like he's the problem, and really he's the nigga that's just trying to make the bullshit work. Oh, Cody Rhodes, you come back. You're some high, you're the most touted motherfucker in wrestling right now, and you sign back to WWE. The type of fucking love that you got is unimaginable. These motherfuckers are hanging on the whim of everything that you say. You do a promo with Paul Heyman that not only have you in tears, not only have him in tears, but you got the whole goddamn fan base in tears. Nigga, you're doing amazing. We're gonna give you a fucking main event at WrestleMania. Oh no, we not. Here's The Rock. Here's the pile of shit. So then you have this nugget of gold who's like, you know what? If that's what y'all want to do, and the fans say, no, we see a pile of shit, and we know it's a nugget of gold in the middle of that motherfucker. So they fucking figure it out and they make it work. And that nugget of gold shined like a motherfucker at WrestleMania. I'm talking about the whole world was like, congratulations, Cody Rhodes. So much so, Cody Rhodes, we're gonna give you another main event, G. You deserve it. And what happens? Another big ass pile of shit with the name of Travis Scott pops out of nowhere and fucks up the whole mood of that match. Yet the nugget of gold tries to shine again. And now the fans are like, what's going on? And now we get here, another nugget of gold. And you throw the biggest pile of shit named Jelly Roll and Pat McAfee in the middle of it. You have two nuggets of gold for real this time. Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes. The story tells itself. And you threw the biggest pile of shit on top of that story. And now fans are like, oh, Cody Rhodes is just a mid talent guy. And they can't. It's because every time they put something around this nigga, it's a pile of shit. It's not him, it's the booking. Granted, he can also pull a Hulk Hogan, but then all of a sudden he's Hulk Rhodes. If he's like, I don't want to do that, brother, because it's bullshit. If he start doing that, then all of a sudden he's Cody Hogan. So it's like, what do? Do you just take whatever the bullshit they give you, or do you just start saying, I'm not doing it? So it's got to be one or the other, but I'm not going to blame Cody Rhodes like I'm not going to blame Triple H, like I'm not going to blame Road Dogg, because this is the TKO thing. And they keep thinking that celebrities and main events of WrestleManias are going to be the thing that changed the game. And it's been 3 years and it hasn't worked yet. And it worked the first time only because it was really just The Rock. And you had that crazy ass main event where everybody popped out. Like, nigga, John Cena was out there, The Rock was out there, Seth Rollins was out there with Shield gear on. Like, it was crazy. But y'all had
I,
to create that out of the pile of bullshit that y'all was about to give us, that the fans were like, we're not gonna allow. So, like, no, I'm not blaming Cody Rhodes. I'm not like, that's my thoughts on it, man. Fuck all that. Book Cody better in a WrestleMania, and then when y'all book him correctly, if y'all would have given me this match without Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll, and it was a dud, which it would not have been, then we could sit here and be like, nah, maybe Cody Rhodes shouldn't be the champion. But if you gonna keep giving him bullshit, I'm not about to sit here and be like, because it's the same thing with fucking Kofi Kingston. I'm not about to sit here and be like, Kofi Kingston was a shitty fucking champion if y'all didn't do shit with him, and he only had the belt for a fucking split second, and he lost it immediately to Brock Lesnar. I'm not about to sit here and be like, oh, for Kofi Kingston was a horrible fucking champion. No, and I'm not gonna do the same thing with Cody Rhodes.
yeah, I definitely agree. I definitely agree. I'm sorry. I can't blame this on Cody Rhodes. It's like, it, it's TKO feeling like Gerard said. It's it's TKO feeling like celebrities need to be inserted into anything about wrestling. Like, wrestling did do well without celebrities. Like, man, I think wrestling been doing very well without celebrities. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had them every now and then, but we need them inserted to everything they do. And I was just like, the whole match. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know who brought this up, but yeah, the whole little back thing with Randy Orton. It's like, man, hold on. He's now selling the back because now he it looked like he, took the wrong move when he did that superplex. I just didn't understand it. And like, the whole thing, I felt like, yeah, I don't think Cody should have retained it, but at the same time, like, what are you supposed to do when oh, hold on, sorry about that. What are you supposed to do with the things that you are presented with? Like, I'm sorry. If this what you present me with, I'm sorry. It's not going to be anything good. We got to deal with McAfee and Jelly Roll. It's just not. I don't know, man. It just wasn't a good main event.
Honestly, at first, and listen, I don't know if people just want Cody to turn heel now at this point because it's like they keep. It almost reminds me of AEW. They almost wanted him to turn heel because one thing I brought up earlier is that even when he was going against Drew, People wanted Drew to win. They were starting to cheer for him over Cody. They wanted him to become the champion. Personally, I thought it was going to be a fatal four-way at WrestleMania. I thought it was going to be Cody versus Orton versus Drew versus Jacob for the WWE title. That's what I was thought was going to happen because Drew wasn't even really champion that long. And hell, they looked like apparently they didn't even want to put the belt on Drew anyways because I was like, is he ever going to beat Cody? Because it's like the third or fourth time now. And he wasn't really champion for that long anyways, okay? So that's what I thought was originally going to happen at first. But then, like with Orton and Cody, it was like, okay, this ought to have been easy to tell. And then again, I thought this match would have happened a while ago. Because let's remember, we had Orton staring at Cody several times for the past 2-3 years now, looking at the
Mhm.
WWE title and stuff, just staring at it. I almost thought it wasn't even really going to happen when they took the belt off Cody. And then it ended up even happening. And yeah, it could have been an easy story to tell, but no, it went all over the place. And then even at one point, and I don't know if this is going to really play into Sunday now. Let's remember, because we even had Pat and CM Punk going back and forth now with promos with them against each other and stuff. It's like, is this about to be a thing now? Like, where are we going with this? And I just thought it just ended just like it was just I felt like it was just all over the place, really. Like it really was, honestly. I really thought Orton was gonna win it, but this feud now continues, obviously. He basically killed Cody in the end, even though he didn't win the match. Even though I just thought it was kind of crazy, he just turned on Pat and stuff and randomly RKO'd him. But then it's like he still beat up Cody after and punted him in the head, even though like I already said earlier, like now everybody's kind of questioning he didn't really sell it because he just walked out on his own 2 feet like almost nothing happened. But I don't know. I just think this whole main event, it was all over the place. Even with the jelly roll and Pat stuff, it's at the beginning. You'd think that would have been towards the end.
Yeah, it should have never been toward none of that. The beginning, the end, the middle, it should have never been anywhere near it. But they just need celebrities. And it's just like like we were just talking about earlier. Like it was just so all these people were just so ham fisted into these views that they didn't need to be in. Did we really need IShowSpeed in a feud with the Vision and the Usos and LA Knight? We could use another wrestler. I don't know. It's just they just. I just think this gonna be the TKO way. They gonna be putting a lot of celebrities into the wrestling matches and especially in big pay per views like WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and all that. You just know it gonna be a celebrity at SummerSlam. Best believe that. And I don't know, man.
It's all over the place. And just looking at this whole night one from a whole standpoint of this, I've seen a lot of people felt like this was another episode of Raw or SmackDown or Saturday night's main event. I feel like now when it comes to night one, I feel like we're just trying to get to night two almost because it looks like obviously they put the bigger matches for the next night. I don't think night one was all that. I still think the best match out of the show was Seth and Gunther. I felt like a lot of it just went really fast and didn't really feel mania worthy, which like I say, the show was going fast, so they was trying to pad time on at the end and stuff. But when it comes to the advertisements and the commercials and just a lot of other things, it just I don't think night one was. I don't know even know if I want to say night one. This night one was better than last year's night one. 'Cause I thought last year's night one was really bad, other than the main event last year. This time, it's like the things I could take away from this show was, like I said, Seth and Gunther, Paige's return. Um, I don't know. It's not a lot. It just feels like I said before, I feel like a lot of matches were being added to the card last minute. I don't think a lot of the booking wasn't all of that going into for a lot of these matches. Like the main event, like yeah, we can say like with TKO getting involved and stuff, but like a lot of other show, like that's kind of got to go to like Triple H and all of that. But just night one was not all that it just really wasn't other than like a few things I can name from it. But I think I remember somebody telling me this. It's like, what did Triple H say? Well, we tell stories over here. Everybody say it's the moment, the moment, the moment. It's all about the moment. That's what it is. I just felt this main event was like I kind of get the story. It was kind of telling Orton's back for some extent is selling, but once again, the story could have went on a whole different way, and it just felt like it was just too much going on and stuff. And then I was like, wait, Orton didn't even win, so now I guess it's gonna happen again. So no, I don't think night one was really that good at all. It's just so many. It's a plethora of things to bring up when looking at the whole standpoint of this show. It really is.
So what should have happened to me is they could have taken they should have kept IShowSpeed at match one. They should have taken the ladder match from tonight and put it on here. Moved a couple of them women's matches, maybe one of them, to this card because the only women's match on this card is what the Rhea Ripley joint.
Yes.
So yeah, y'all could have took at least one or two of those matches and put them on this card tonight, just for a little bit of balance. Because I agree, all of the good matches are tonight.
And it
Like
looks like
every
I
single one of them, every single match that I am anticipating is tonight. I told Bryce yesterday the only reason I really was into night one is because I already told him I was going to review it today. So I was like, I'm gonna watch all the matches, but nigga, there really wasn't any match that I was excited about except for Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton, and that got ruined by Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll before the match even started. So like, yeah, I was really like kind of yeah, I was kind of I wasn't tuned out for it because I definitely watched every match and I was tuned in for it, but I was just more so like, all right, night two, that's what we ready for. Like, let's get through night one.
that's what I think they're depending on. It looks like that's really what it is. They depend more on the night two. I feel like, and then again, it's like I said earlier. I think a lot of the build for a lot of these matches weren't even all that. Like I said, I was only really looking forward to like three matches out of like just the whole card itself, like just the whole thing. And I kind of said two then because the Orton and Cody thing just really just kind of lost my interest in and whatnot. So that's how I feel about it. But I don't think night one was really. I don't think it was really all that, other than just a few things I just named. What really happened from this show?
No, I agree.
Yeah, I definitely agree. This night one was just not really doing it for me. I was barely paying attention. It was background noise for the most part. I was on my phone, doing something else. You know, for the beginning part, I missed Paige entrance because I was in the kitchen fixing something to eat. Cause I didn't really care about the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. So when I came back and I saw Paige in the ring, I'm like, oh, what the hell? Because I was surprised because I missed her entrance. I didn't really care about night one too much.
Yeah, and I didn't think it was all. Like I said, just going into it, it's like I already said earlier. Like going into Mania this year, the hype wasn't there. The booking wasn't all that. It's so many things to name. Ticket prices, a lot of stuff, just too much. It just even some felt like did it even really feel like Mania even going in here? Just even going back to Vegas again was like, did we really need to go back here again? But it's money, so that's why, and I even said this before, like, when really everybody wants to talk about WWE ain't it right now, I said AEW need to be taking advantage of this and whatnot. Some say they can't do it all the way. I know some are still questioning Darby Allin's title win and whatnot, even though I still think it was a cool moment. But, there's some things I can kind of question here and there about it too. Some people feel like it was just so, hey, let's kind of take away the hypermania and talk about that for a minute and stuff. I've seen that. Um, but just other than everything I just kind of named from this, just quick predictions before we get up out of here.
Um, I got Omen winning against Brock. Um, I got Rhea winning the title. I got Roman winning the title. Who else? What else is
Ladder
on
match,
I got Javon winning the title.
uh,
Um,
Trick and Sammy,
I got Trick winning the title. And I got Finn Balor beat Dominic. That's my predictions.
My predictions, I'll say real quick. I got Oba winning. Finn, Punk, Rhea. Um, I feel like they're gonna give it the trick anyways, even though I don't know. I still feel like it's gonna be a double turn. It's already felt like a double turn already, but then again, I wouldn't be surprised if Sammy win. But I'm just gonna give it a trick. The ladder, um, I it's a toss up. I don't know, man. I want to say Pentagon will retain, but probably Evans. I don't know. It's a toss up for that one. So those are my predictions for that.
Um, I got Rhea Ripley winning. I got CM Punk beating Roman Reigns. Um, but I also have CM Punk going heel tonight, and that being the reason he beats Roman Reigns. Um, I have Trick Williams beating Sami Zayn. Um, we outside. Javon Evans is winning his first WWE Championship. Um, and I have, because this is my theory, since um, since Gunther beat Seth Rollins, he is now seen as a pretty big guy, always still. I think the reason that he beat Seth Rollins is because the favor that he's going to call in is to face Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam and retiring him. And I think the favor will be done by Paul Heyman, who will screw over Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam in order for Gunther to win. Um, and I think Gunther will become the next Paul Heyman guy because I think Paul Heyman is basically done with the vision due to all of the injuries and things like that. And I think after Braun and Seth have their match, that there's going to be some type of dismantling of the vision. If it doesn't happen before the match, who knows what may happen with the vision. And I think Paul Heyman will just be a floating manager for a second, or at least it'll look like that. But I think it'll all end with Gunther becoming the next Paul Heyman guy. But in the midst of that, I think in order for that to even all happen, I think Brock Lesnar has to beat Obafemi tonight. So I'm taking Brock Lesnar to beat Obafemi, and Obafemi still walking away looking amazing because it's going to take Brock Lesnar everything he has to beat Obafemi. I think Obafemi is over enough that if he loses to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, and it took Brock Lesnar like four F5s to even get that motherfucker to the ground, like the first two he did back to back, and he kicked out pretty damn easy at two or some shit. And then he does it one more time, and he does it one more time, and then all of a sudden that's the one that ends Obafemi, and he walks away. Basically, Brock Lesnar beats Obafemi, being one of the few motherfuckers who have, or maybe the first. Um, and Obafemi walks away looking amazing because Jesus, it took Brock Lesnar everything he had at WrestleMania to even get that man down. That'll build up for Brock Lesnar, then coming off of the high of beating Obafemi, losing to Gunther at SummerSlam due to Paul Heyman, and then eventually either next WrestleMania or maybe even the SummerSlam next year or the WrestleMania after this one, after that one next year, you'll get Gunther versus Obafemi for some world championship, which will be your two biggest guys, I would say, maybe next year for WrestleMania. Your two biggest guys, because you built them that way. And then you move one to one brand, you move one to the other brand, and you have two big bads outside of Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, who you can put into main event matches, and it actually feels like a main event match, and you don't have to recycle the same people over and over again, or add celebrities to main events. So
Nah,
that's my prediction for the long term storytelling and for tonight.
gotcha. But yeah, other than that though, we will see what happens later tonight. I'm gonna assume it's gonna be better than what we saw yesterday because it was really a lot of mess going on, and other than a couple things, I can't say it was all that. And we'll see what happens. I don't know who will be back. I don't. Hey, guess we all may be back here tomorrow to talk about night two. We'll
Um,
see. We'll
yeah,
talk.
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll talk to y'all separately about that. If one of y'all be back tomorrow, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that's it for night one. No, so anything to get up out here for you know later on tonight. Anybody want to say anything?
Nah, it just feels so dead because night one was just not so good. It just made us feel it just brought down the whole mood. It made all of us feel like all right, come on, let's get on with night two.
I want.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, I do wonder. I'll just say this. We'll see if the show goes really fast, because like I said, it was going really fast.
I
But
mean,
it ain't.
I personally didn't mind it going as fast as it did. I hate that there were so many commercial breaks. That shit took forever, and I got high as hell because every time there was a commercial break, I went outside to smoke. But yeah, hopefully, like I don't mind it ended at 5 to 9, and that was a good time frame for me because you can do shit for the rest of the night. Um, but yeah, just no commercial breaks. Just make the matches longer. Don't bog us with 8 minutes of commercials.
Yeah, yeah, it was just too many commercials and ads, and I don't know, man. This match is brought to you by something. It's like that's what some say. Cody Rhodes. That's why he won, because it was brought to you by Wheatley. I trick it so neatly, and he's sponsored by that. So it's definitely a lot of that in there. But yeah, we'll see what happens for night two. So other than that, anything to plug before we go?
Um, Not really. No.
Nah, I ain't got nothing to plug.
Yeah, so yeah, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, subscribe, follow on Twitter, Hood9090. We'll probably see you again tomorrow for night two review of WrestleMania 42. We out of here. See y'all then. Peace.